Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Hi, guys. How we doing?
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, it's springtime and you all out here.
One of us is dressed for spring.
Well,
two of us.
Oh, I'm sorry, two of us.
Come on.
Easter Sunday, Jenny.
Sunday best over
Look
here.
at you. I mean, y'all
Missed
ain't
the
like,
memo, but
So you've already lost,
Look at me right here. Skip this thing.
Defeated before we
How?
start. Well, you gave in and gave up.
Nah,
Huh?
Cowboys defeated.
Defeated.
18. We're going to talk about them. I want to talk about them
Yep.
right now.
Spurs
You go get
finally
all
went
upset.
down at home.
What you mean, finally?
Finally went down at home, but there's no shame in losing to the man who taught LeBron how to win,
Don't do that,
Dwyane
Skip.
Wade.
It is
right?
shame. It is shame losing to a
No
team that's in the
shame.
7th seed.
Eight. They're 8 seed, but they've won 8 out of 10. So I'm good.
All right.
I thought you guys won
Good
9
place.
straight, though.
We had won 11 straight at home.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
okay,
Next.
we have a lot to get to today on the show like this. Are the Browns really a Super Bowl contender?
Super Bowl.
And then did the Sixers put the rest of the East on notice? But we are going to start with, more drama with the Steelers. Le'Veon Bell is the latest former Steeler to call out Ben Roethlisberger. Bell signed a 4-year deal with the Jets last week, and he told Sports Illustrated that Ben wasn't the only factor in him wanting to leave the Steelers, but, quote, it was a factor. He went on to say this: Ben wants to win, but Ben wants to win his way, and that's tough to play with. Ben won a Super Bowl, but he won when he was younger. Now he's at this stage where he tries to control everything, and the team let him get there. But Big Ben's teammate, Marquise Pouncey, defended his quarterback on Instagram, saying, I've been with Ben going on 10 years. I swear on my kids, he is a true leader. Sucks to see players who leave and are mad at the organization now and try to point fingers like they are perfect. But this is the world we live in now. So, Shannon, whose side are you on here?
I really try not to choose sides, but I think in this situation,
You?
Yeah, I really try to stay. I try to stay Switzerland and
Neutral? Really?
right down the middle.
I had
Always.
That's what I try to do.
I
yeah.
never noticed that,
Don't
but go
think
ahead.
so.
I'm gonna say Le'Veon, Skip, but I'm gonna say this about Ben. Ben, quarterbacks wanting to win and coaches. A lot of people, most want to win their way, but in winning their way, they're respectful of others. As Le'Veon mentioned, and I've said this before, when Ben won those Super Bowls, especially the first one, he was not even asked to be a leader. He was just asked to be like, just hold it in the road. We got somebody to step on the gas, step on the brake. We're going to look for the rip. We don't need you to do anything. Just hold it in the road. That team was veteran-laden. Jerome Bettis, Hines Ward, James Ferrier, Joey Porter, Alan Faneca, going to the Hall. All those guys, Ben was nothing, Skip. Remember, he went 9 of 21, 130, and 2 picks in his first Super Bowl. So they didn't ask him to do a whole lot. And see, the mistake that a lot of people make, and a lot of fans, and some in this in our business, Skip, we feel once you won Super Bowl, you can say or do no wrong. And guys have become resentful of Ben, not because he won those Super Bowls, but the preferential treatment that the team is giving him. It's kind of like being a teacher's pet. Not only do you become resentful of the teacher, you become resentful of the student because you see how the teacher is treating that student. And what they see is how the organization, because I can assure you, what I'm thinking, what I'm getting, I believe that at some point, not only did AB and Le'Veon Bell approach Mike Tomlin about the way Ben antics were starting to rub them the wrong way, Mike T probably sent them upstairs. Y'all need to take that above me. And in the process of going upstairs, you heard what Kevin Colbert said. That's y'all daddy. Y'all need to listen to your daddy. Ben got 52 kids. And it's like, wait a minute. I understand he won 2 Super Bowls, Skip. I get all that. But let me tell you what he didn't win. He ain't win no gold medal in boxing. He ain't no MMA champ. And if he keeps treating me disrespectful, we gonna put those skills to the test. That's what happened. People start to think that you become beyond reproach if you've been successful, win Super Bowls, been an All-Pro, gone to Pro Bowls. No, man, at the end of the day, Skip, Ben Roethlisberger and AB and Le'Veon Bell, they are the exact same. They are players, Ben is not a Rooney. Ben is not the GM. Ben is not the head coach. I get it. If you want to chastise somebody, but you can't do it constantly. And we've seen Ben, AB ran the route too short. James Washington got to make that play, Skip. And Marquise Pouncey. I just want to make sure, Skip, it's Marquise, right? That was.
Yeah.
This is not the Marquise Pouncey, Skip, when Aaron Hernandez was charged with murder and he had a free Aaron Hernandez hat on. That's not that Marquise Pouncey, right? That's not the Marquise Pouncey that was irate and that was so upset at James Harrison because the Steelers cut him and signed with the Patriots. That's not him. So, because he said something that was very interesting. It's guys that's been released and have problems. So what problem did you have with James Harrison? What problem did you...
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking him.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
not to say that he might have a great relationship. It's been reported, Skip, if you listen to everybody talk, Ben has a great relationship with the offensive line. Most quarterbacks do. Your livelihood is very dependent on those guys, Skip. Most of the time, guess who go out to dinner? The offensive line and the quarterback. Guess who the quarterback is chummy with in the locker room? The offensive line. You know why? Yeah, that's the protection. That's the Secret Service. Your livelihood, your well-being, how you succeed is directly correlated to them. So more times than not, the quarterback and the line has a great relationship. But you can look at, say, Le'Veon, maybe Le'Veon handled the situation where he didn't come in and they were upset about that. And maybe he didn't reset the market at the running back position with the new contract. But to say because he spent 5 years in that locker room and he doesn't have these kind of feelings or he doesn't deserve to would be doing him a grave disservice because you dislike him holding out on your favorite team. I'm siding with Le'Veon, not to say AB and maybe Le'Veon. I don't got no problem with Le'Veon because all he did was like, I want more money. Okay, I played the contract out. You franchised me. You told me that you were going to give me a long-term deal. You didn't do that. You franchised me again. How's Le'Veon at fault? So I'm on Le'Veon's side all the way.
Show over yet? I don't know.
Not
That was
yet.
a lot of stuff there, man. You just wrote a book.
That was 5 minutes, 34 seconds.
5:34?
Yeah.
That's like half a motion.
That is-
right?
Sure you're ready.
So you tiptoed into your argument this time, but in the past, for the last month or so,
Yeah.
you have crushed Big Ben Roethlisberger
Yeah.
on this show. And I think you proceeded to crush him in what you just said, because even though you say you don't take sides, and you
I try
think
not to.
You're kind of leaning a little
I try
toward
not to.
Le'Veon, and then you went way overboard for Le'Veon in all the points that you just made. And you know what I think you're on your way to doing?
What?
I believe you're on your way to talking Big Ben Roethlisberger into winning next year's MVP in the National Football League. I'm going to make him right now my early favorite for MVP just because of all of the above.
Over Brady?
It has become, yes, sir, over Tom Brady, because it has become open season on a guy. The last time I checked, who you went all the way back to discredit his rookie year, but he was Offensive Rookie of the Year in the National Football League. That's something. You got to give him that, right?
They were 15 and
Okay,
1.
okay, well, I'm just saying, he was Offensive Rookie of the Year, and it's open season on this quarterback who's played in 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of those Super
Right.
Bowls. And this is a quarterback, open season on him, who's been to 6 Pro Bowls and who last year finished 3rd in the NFL in QBR. Not only that, but he led the NFL in passing yards last year with a career high 5,129 yards. He went over 5,000 passing yards last year and also had a career high 34 touchdown passes. Open season on this guy. He's the reason the Steelers missed the playoffs last year, even though he is a guy who in the postseason is 13-8. That's the 6th most all-time wins of a quarterback in the postseason. 13 wins. And would you believe that Big Ben Roethlisberger, as the quarterback of the Steelers, has led them to 7 AFC North titles? That's pretty good,
Yes,
right? That's
yes.
pretty good. So that guy is just getting annihilated by 2 malcontents who are not happy with their money in Pittsburgh as they are leaving town. They are shooting and firing away at Big Ben Roethlisberger, that quarterback that I just detailed. They have made him the scapegoat of what happened to last year's Pittsburgh Steelers, and you are actually letting them get away with that. And you want to know the truth?
What's that?
Both of those guys, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, they will miss being Pittsburgh Steelers. Sooner than later, they will miss it. They won't admit it publicly, but they'll look back on their days saying, God, that was pretty great there because we had the flying circus offense because we had a quarterback who could just shrug off rushers and get us open. That's including Le'Veon downfield.
Where they win them?
And boy, they won a lot of games.
Oh, that's what
they won a lot of divisions.
So you in the winning games, division, or
Well,
Super Bowl?
I don't know, but he's been pretty good, and I'm not sure you can blame him for what happened last year when he put up numbers like that.
What about all those interceptions?
Ooh, he did. He led the NFL in interceptions. He also led in passing yards and touchdowns.
Okay, well, hold on.
Because he's throwing it all over the line.
Okay.
He is trying things. He's trying to get the ball to 84 when 84 ain't open.
Okay.
He's just throwing it up for grabs, hoping that 84 will go make a play for him.
You see, Skip, we got to be careful of this because you listed all of his accolades.
Mm-hmm.
He won the 3 Super Bowls. He's won 2. He was Offensive Rookie of the Year, the 5,000s. He can be a great player and an awful teammate. Those aren't mutually exclusive, Skip.
So
You make it seem.
let's get back to Marquise Pouncey. And again, you tried to disqualify him because he supported his former University of Florida team.
Skip, the man was charged with first-degree murder.
I got it. But again, I'm not defending him on that, but you can't look back and disqualify that episode when he states on Instagram that I swear on my kids. That's a strong statement. In fact, you have used that in other cases as, what have you tell me, in the black community,
Yes,
if
I
you
did.
swear on your kids, man, you swear.
Yes.
I mean, you're
Yes.
putting your life on the line, right?
So let me ask you a question. If he come out and say, you know what, yeah, Ben is not the best leader, and he's still in that locker room, how does that go over?
Well,
What's he supposed to say?
obviously, I know, but he didn't do it with a bunch of empty cliches and platitudes and a lot of lip service where it's just a lot of blah, blah, blah. I swear on my kids. He didn't say it. He wrote it for all to see. It's going to live forever there in this post. I swear on my kids. You know what? I'm going to take that to my bank, that I think he does think that Ben is a good leader. He may not think he's a great one, but a good one.
So are we going to discount the 15 guys that's come out and says Ben leaves a lot to be desired in the leadership over to just the one?
Are we up to 15?
No, I'm just
Okay.
saying. Well, I mean, you go back to, you hear Hines Ward talk about it. You hear James Harrison talk about it. A.B. Le'Veon. See, the thing is that, anytime someone leaves something and they say something about someone that was there, well, we never heard that before you was there.
Yeah.
Well, you try and keep the peace while you at work.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So now,
Okay.
if you leave and say something, that's automatically disqualified. That's a disqualifier.
Okay.
Ben is a great player. Ben is going to be a Hall of Famer. But being a Hall of Famer and being a great teammate, Skip, there are two different things. You know that. You've covered the game long enough to know.
Hey, I've covered several
Exactly.
star quarterbacks
That
who
would
rubbed everybody the
Yes.
wrong way in the locker room, but they did it their way because they're the franchise quarterback and they were backing it up in their performance
Right.
on Sunday.
Right.
So, again, I don't want to name names, but you played with John Elway, and there's Dan Marino, who rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I can just keep on keeping on. Brett Favre rubbed along.
But let me tell you how Danny was. Danny would yell at his receivers and everything, but he was going to be the first guy, hey, guys, let's go out.
Okay.
We going out to
All right.
And the thing is, and like I said, Ben is who he is, but Skip, you can't think because you're the quarterback and you won Super Bowls that you're better than me. You might be a better player, but we are equal. We are both what? Players. Ben had the attitude that he was a Rooney, that he was Kevin Colbert or Mike Tomlin, that he had seniority. And I can talk with any
What
kind of
star
way.
quarterback doesn't have that attitude? I've never been around one who didn't have that attitude.
Have it.
No
But
one
you
ever, except Brady. Brady's the one guy who's just one of the guys. He acts like I'm just one of the guys. And I think he is more one of the guys than any of those guys we just talked about.
You know what, Skip? I can't speak for a lot of other quarterbacks because I only really played with one great quarterback. And I can just say how he treated me and I saw him treat others in that locker room. That's all I can base it on. But I'm just going to tell you, Skip, Ben and I would have a problem if he ever did any of the things to A.B. and Le'Veon. If he did that to me, we would have a problem. And you know that. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, If you played with Aaron Rodgers, you would have lots of problems.
No, we wouldn't.
Practice and games.
No, we wouldn't.
Practice and
No,
games.
we wouldn't have no problem, Skip.
Sharp. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Okay.
Get off-
You're right. Okay. He gonna do that one time. He gonna do that on TV. The camera gonna catch it. He gonna do that on TV.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have a conversation after the
Yeah.
game. Now, what you think the chances are he does that again?
Well, that's your point.
You
You're
call
making
him out.
mine. We're together
Right.
on that one. But Aaron Rodgers runs the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
In fact, they just chose a coach who's going to feel like the assistant coach to Aaron Rodgers, right?
Right.
Because who is this guy? And this is Aaron Rodgers. You're going to coach that guy?
Right.
Really?
But,
Okay.
but the thing is, look, you can have senior. The whole thing about leadership and having privileges is that you know you can assert these privileges, but you don't. You don't abuse those privileges. And Ben, because he had won Super Bowls and he knew he had the backing of the head coach, maybe I don't know. Like I said, I believe they went to Mike T and then he sent him on upstairs. And when they come back down, they got no closure. It's like, well, he's the quarterback. And so, Skip,
Well, at some point, Mike Tomlin has to take a stand here. Who is in charge? Coach?
Yeah.
The quarterback is. You got to listen to the quarterback.
I wish I might.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that's what any big head coach would tell any player about a big-time franchise quarterback.
He'll never garner the level of respect that he should with that type of behavior.
Well, so his regular season quarterback record as a starter is 144, 69, and 1. That's 68% of his
Great.
games. Okay, so something has gone right in Pittsburgh with Ben in control of the offense.
Again,
something.
all those can be true.
So do you think he would have won 6 Super Bowls if he was a better leader?
No, Skip. We put all this in winning. When you play sports, winning is the most important thing. But I believe you can win and still have great relationships with your teammates. That's how I believe. Now, maybe in basketball or other sports, I'm just talking about in football when you have 53 guys, which is the toughest sport to win a championship in, Skip, because you have 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, and John Elway and Tom Brady couldn't impact the defense like Michael Jordan could. Not only could he drop 50, but he might get 5 steals and 2 blocks to impact the defensive side. Well, you can't do that in football, so that's why you need all these guys to pull together. But in that dynamic, why can't he's like, you know what, AB? AB, let me have a conversation with you. Bro, I'm going to need you to run that route a little deeper. Now, I'm going to try to do everything I possibly can to get you the football, but I need you and I need to be on the same page. Why couldn't he have done that? Right after the game, Skip, you said, okay, he ran the route flat. Okay, if he ran the route flat, why the hell you throw it to him?
I'm sure he has had those conversations, but he's also prone to do it through the media. He doesn't do it on the field the way Aaron does, where he's pointing at people. You don't ever get that from Ben, but you do get it in postgame or in his, especially on his day, is it the day after radio show? That's where he will call out James Washington.
So what was the excuse for calling out Todd Haley, for throwing him under the bus?
Which time?
Oh, they wanted me to, he was in my ear saying spike the ball, and I didn't want to spike it.
Yeah. Okay, that was right after the game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the truth? I don't know.
Skip, now you know,
Yep.
if you were to get all truth coming out of locker rooms,
No.
there wouldn't be anybody playing.
I got it. But you know what's funny about Ben Roethlisberger? Is he arrogant? Yeah, he can be arrogant. Is he supremely egotistical? Yeah. Can he deflect after games? Sometimes. But I've never heard anybody say he was a bad guy, like a bad-hearted guy where people just don't like him, don't want to be around him. I never get that.
His resume speaks for itself.
Yeah.
What does his resume say?
Okay, you mean off the field stuff. No, I'm just talking about in the locker room. I never heard anybody just condemn him as, I don't like to be around him. He's a bad guy.
No.
Obviously, he's had incidents off the field.
Here's the thing, Skip. Maybe he's not the bad guy nobody wants to be around him.
Yeah.
But there have been bad teammates, and they're two different things. You're in the locker room, I got to do this. This is my job. I got to do this. But at the first chance I get, I'm going to make a run for the hills. Le'Veon, people get upset at Le'Veon. Why are you upset at Le'Veon? Oh, he's being selfish. He's holding out. Nah, the Steelers promised him something. Le'Veon knew what they was going to do, Skip. The Steelers they were not going to give Le'Veon the deal that he wanted for, or even close. They were going to play 4 years, franchise him, use him, franchise him again, use him, and then, okay, Le'Veon, go ahead and test the free agent market. They were going to put another 406 plus carries or touches on that man's body. He refused to do that. Okay, you can say, well, Le'Veon, you out your mind. You turned down $14 million and you didn't reset the market for the running back position. Okay, that's a separate issue from the issue he has with Ben Roethlisberger. Those are separate.
Okay. So you think that AB and Le'Veon basically left Pittsburgh for dead, NFL dead, as in...
No. They still have Ben. Juju can play.
Okay.
They got James Conner.
But again, we're about to talk about this in our next block. But again, you think that Cleveland has just vaulted over Pittsburgh?
Yes. Well, I'm not the only one. Okay. What did Vegas say?
Well,
you like Vegas, right?
No,
you go to Vegas from time to time and play poker and blackjack.
I don't play poker.
They tell
I
me.
go to shows. I go to shows.
Yeah, they tell me, oh, Skip was in here playing at the $5,000 table.
I play dollar slots with like $50 until it's gone.
That's a shame.
That's what we do. We do it like for 1 hour in the whole trip. Let's just do this. Let's just get it over with. And we just you don't even pull anymore. You just push.
Can I ask you a question?
Push, and then it's over.
Did you go with a church? Huh? Did you go with a church? Because that's
with the church?
Yes, because that's what church.
I go to church. But I don't go to Vegas with church.
That's what the church go. They have
I know.
Really, Skip. The slots.
Now, once upon a time in my life, whole different story, but no more.
Okay, fair enough.
Used to.
You ought to be ashamed.
You got to hold back.
You ought to talk about I played the dollar slots.
Well, that's what we do now. That's because it's like you have to just do it to get it over with. You can't go to Vegas.
Ernestine said she wanted to play blackjack or baccarat. You forced her to play the dollar slot.
Yeah, and then I couldn't get. She got addicted last time, and I couldn't pull her off the machine.
She must have won a couple times.
No, she got up to like $85. I said, just quit while you're ahead. No, I'm
not
hot.
at that
I'm
point.
hot. You know how that goes.
$85. Yeah. Gotta stay winning.
About 2 hours later, I just crapped out. I got nothing. Oh, well, I told you.
Yeah, that's how you keep the lights on, Ernest.
You know what? I want to go to Vegas with you guys.
Okay,
I feel like it would be a party.
The shows.
I like the shows. Skip, I'm not going to Vegas just for those shows, okay?
Yep.
I'm going to gamble.
Okay, to just bring this to a conclusion, hell hath no fury like a franchise quarterback scorned like this guy is. You look out next year, you're going to get Ben unleashed. That's my prediction. That's my prediction.
I like that.
Just because of all this. I've never seen anything like the open season that's on Ben Roethlisberger.
You make it seem like it's undeserved. Like he deserves no culpability, no fault for this.
I'll give you like 25%, but he's being condemned.
As being a bad teammate, yeah.
Okay.
By guys that were in the locker room.
Well, we'll see how next year's Steelers think how bad a teammate he is.
Let's see how he responds. We've been
MVP?
talking about him.
Well, yeah, because he gonna have 52. He gonna have 2 new kids in there. Because the two bad kids, they gone.
The 2 bad kids are
They
gone.
got sent to detention.
I agree.
Okay, we're gonna switch gears. Did Marcus Smart cost the Celtics a win last night? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
The Sixers and Celtics got heated early in the third quarter last night. Marcus Smart was upset after Joel Embiid stuck his elbow out as Smart ran by on defense. Smart then pushed Embiid and was given a flagrant 2 foul, which resulted in an ejection. Embiid scored the next 8 points, finished with 37 and a career-high 22 boards in the Sixers' big win. Embiid said after the game, quote, "Stuff like that gets me going, gets the crowd going." So, Shannon, did Smart cost Boston that game?
No, they had an 11-point lead at that point. They had an 11-point lead at the half. They had a 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Now, unless Marcus Smart was going to guard Joel Embiid and keep him from getting 37 and 22, no.
Maybe he could have guarded Jimmy Butler, but go ahead.
But Tobias Harris got it going. I mean,
he did.
The thing is, with Skip, no, he did not cost them the game, and I felt that the Sixers are the better team. I feel that if they played their best, the Sixers played their best, and all the other teams in the East, the Sixers are the best. And when you look at it with Joe, because they have something nobody else has. 7'1.5", 7'2", 300 pounds, Joel Embiid. He's unstoppable. He said after, I'm the most unstoppable player in the NBA. And he is. The only person that can stop Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid when he starts jacking up threes. Now, that's how you stop him, Skip. But on the block, got no answer. Because if everybody wants to start making a run, they can put him down on the block, and you got no answer for him. They keep talking about Al Horford does the best job. Al Horford can't see this kid. He's too big. Now, what Al tries to do is bring him away from the basket, try to put some moves on him, tire him out like that, but they forgot that Joel Embiid took the previous night off. So he was rested, gave him 41 minutes. But Marcus Smart didn't cost him the game. But what Marcus Smart might do, it might cost him a series. Because you do this in the playoff, not only are you going to get thrown out that game, you might get suspended for the next game.
True.
So that might cost them a game. But Marcus Smart being thrown out of this game, Skip, I don't believe it cost the Celtics this victory. The Celtics couldn't make a shot in the fourth quarter. Kyrie had it going. The first 3 quarters, Kyrie was cooking.
He was.
And then in the fourth quarter, he couldn't buy a bucket. And I don't know if anybody noticed it, Skip, but Jason Tatum been disappearing. That show that you went to see in Vegas, was Jason Tatum performing? Was he Chris Angel?
Penn and Teller.
Yeah, because
he disappeared in the act. He went up on stage and we didn't see him anymore.
Well, he disappeared in the last couple of games.
Yeah. You know what I saw, my big picture takeaway before I get to Marcus Smart, because that was part and parcel of what I saw last night? I think there was a changing of the guard last night between these two teams. The last 6 close games they had played against each other, obviously dating back, the Celtics had won all 6 of them, in large part because Kyrie would just say, I got this.
Right.
Or Jason Tatum would say, I got this. Or Al Horford say, I got this. They just thought psychologically they had Philly's number until last night. And it started to unravel to me early in the third quarter when Marcus Smart, look, I love him. I love his physical toughness. I love his mental toughness. I just like you're right, his energy. I just like his intensity. He plays hard, man. He gave them their defensive identity over the last couple of years because it started with him. He was the flashpoint of the defense because he gets up into people. He can get up into James Harden and frustrate him.
Yep.
So think about what we just saw, and we keep seeing the tape of it. He lost his poise. He lost his focus. He basically lost his mind because he got frustrated. He'd gone for a pass and they got tangled up and he was called for a foul. And then Joel got him back and
got him with the
he caught him. Yeah. He got him. But how do you respond to that? Because Joel just walked away. He turned his back and walked away. And I don't think he said anything. I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And what did Marcus Smart do? Remember, he's 6 feet 4 inches tall. The other guy's whatever he is, 7'1",
7'2".
Okay. And Marcus charges him from the blind side and shoves him, 2-hand shoves him. And did Joel add a little to it, a little flop to it? Probably he did. Did he exaggerate his fall? Yeah, he probably did. Yeah. He tumbled. And he called it after the game a cheap shot because it was a cheap shot on the part of Marcus Smart. Because what you want Marcus to do in that situation is if you want to confront, go get in his face and confront him.
Yeah. Sure.
Tell him about it.
Hey, Joel, do that again. Yeah. And then shove him when he faces him.
But go face him, right? Even though you'd be looking up at him. But go face him because this proves nothing. It solves nothing. It just gets you in hot water. Gets you ejected because it's an ejection move. It's just like automatic. You're going to be gone in today's NBA, not in the old NBA, but in today, you're out.
What's good? First of all, in the old NBA, he had pushed somebody down like that and come back slugging. Exactly.
And you're going to trade punches before they break it up.
Exactly.
Okay, but that's not going to happen anymore. So he knows he's a smart kid. He has high basketball IQ. You're gone. You're going to give yourself up right there. Is it going to help any? Is it going to send a psychological message to Philly that you ain't backing down? Well,
Marcus Smart don't play.
Okay.
Hey, you see Marcus Smart push Joel Embiid?
Well, he pushed him from behind. He blindsided him, which proves nothing. It doesn't get you anywhere. So could they have used him down the stretch to defend? Yes. Well, sure they could have. What did they give up in the fourth? They gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. That's not Boston Celtics basketball, right?
Nope.
And now to my man, Kyrie. This is why I think two teams are troubled internally right now. Kevin Durant's got 1 foot out the door in Golden State, and Kyrie clearly has 1 foot out the door in Boston. The team knows it, and the team doesn't love it. So you lose a little bit of unity. Okay. You lose a little bit of fourth quarter trust in each other. You know, it's deep what's going on. The psychological connection that you have with your teammates. Obviously, that Celtics team down the stretch last year without Kyrie and without Gordon Hayward, they were connected, man. They were together. They were unified. They all knew their roles. Now it's like, okay, Kyrie, I guess it's your turn. You're on, right?
Right.
And as you said, 1 for 6. And Jimmy Butler, I argued with my friend Chris Broussard on this show when it came down, you know, when it was back in, when was it? November, when he was,
when all that was happening.
he was traded for.
Yeah.
And Chris Broussard said, boy, that's going to be tough on Philly because Jimmy Butler's caused problems in his previous 2 stops, Chicago and Minnesota.
Yes.
Okay, is he causing problems in Philly? Well, there's been a little bit of clash with Joel, who gets the most touches.
Right.
But what you have now is you have a bona fide closer.
Yeah.
You have clutch closer.
Yeah.
And what happened last night in the fourth quarter is that Jimmy Butler closed a lot better than Kyrie closed.
Yeah.
Because Kyrie, I've always said, is the best closer in the game.
Right.
Well, last night, for whatever reason, he wasn't. He did get a step on Joel, and I thought he had him, and Joel just wheeled and
blocked it with his left
blocked
hand.
it with his left hand. And it was such an athletic move for a 7-1 or whatever he is.
That's
right?
unbelievable, Skip.
It's unbelievable.
And you look at Jimmy Butler was phenomenal in the fourth quarter.
Hey, listen.
Those big threes at the start.
I'm going to, real quick, so he hits one with 8:40 to cut it to 6 when it looked like they were about to teeter and go down. And then 5:31, he cuts it to 3 with a 3. And then 5:05, he tied it with the 3. And then what's he do with 5.5 seconds left? Dagger, 2-point jump shot, right?
You got a guy that's a big shot taker and a big shot
He
maker
is not
in the
afraid.
most dire of circumstances. Skip, he lost the ball. The ball almost went out of bounds because he tried to make
I thought
a
he
move.
had lost it. Yep.
And then he comes back, and so that's what you have. You have a guy that can hit big shots. Tobias Harris can make threes. You got J.J. Redick can make threes. Ben Simmons.
I mean, seriously, is there a better starting 5 than the starting 5? I don't think so.
No. And the thing is that Redick and Ben Simmons didn't have a great night last night. Skip, he only shot the ball 9 times.
Yeah, he's almost becoming like a cog in the wheel. Like he's just another guy, but he's a 6'11" guy.
But he's a triple-double machine waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And he got the 3. They got the and one, and he made the free throw on top of it.
That was a big play.
Big time.
Yeah.
They're going to be the deal with. But I don't believe Marcus Smart cost him the game. It was a dumb play, and you have to be mindful of those things, especially in the playoffs.
It's not a championship team play. That's what it's not. It's just one of those plays where you say, what are you doing? It's like a bad team play where it gets you nowhere, and you're better than that, as volatile as he can be, as emotional. He's not a high technical foul guy. He's not up there with Russ and KD and those guys. He doesn't do that. So usually he would pick his spot and make his statement a little better with a face-up instead of just a cheap shotty sort of push from behind.
Do him like Joel got him.
Yeah.
Make it look like he was trying to set a pick, and you catch him with a bow. That's all you got to do. Hey, you can do. That's what Embiid did to him.
Yeah.
But Skip, here's the thing. I got a question for you. You know, last year and started this season, everybody Jason Tatum. Oh, in any package that somebody wants to trade with Boston, they're gonna want Jason Tatum. They still feel like that now. They still the difference between Kyle Kuzma and Jason Tatum. Kyle Kuzma not even close. Brandon Ingram, you still feel that way?
Well, lately Kyle Kuzma hasn't been close because he hasn't been any better than Jason Tatum has been.
Yeah, Jason Tatum been averaging about 13 over the last 5-6 games.
Okay, all right. So Boston isn't Boston, but it feels troubled to me. It feels like it's all out of whack internally.
Well, the difference is Kuzma can play without the ball because he can catch and shoot. Jason Tatum last year, he played well in that role with no Kyrie because he had the ball.
Beautiful.
And you mentioned those games that they were behind, 17 at game 3, and they came all the way back on Philly's home court. So we're gonna see this thing gonna get very, very interesting.
So I think we do agree on one point. That Joel Embiid is the most unstoppable force in the NBA. And I'm throwing in both ends of the court.
Yeah.
You know, because he can defend at a high level. He only gets in his own way sometimes. He gets a little too full of himself.
Nobody else, because here's the thing, Skip. Nobody else has this package.
Nope.
Nobody else 7+. Nobody else is 300 pounds. He could, like I said, he can shoot the 3. He can back it down. Look. No, you can't stop this. And unless he feels like he's Steph Curry or James Harden, and one night he wants to get up 13, 14 threes, and he doesn't play around the rim. But when he puts his back to the rim, Skip, he got skills. He put the ball over, and he can just get to the easy, effortless.
He was just bouncing Horford off him like he's a little guy. And he's not a big guy.
Right, but come on, Skip. 300 versus 255, 260.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Did you guys like his post-game interview, too? How he listed off 1, 2, 3 of 1, I'm glad we won. 2, I'm the best defensive player. And 3, I'm the most unstoppable player in the league. Like, he mapped it out for us.
He already knew what was going to happen.
Clear message.
But I think they need to get those reporters, Skip, they need to get them some apple crates. Because he was up.
I know. I was thinking about that.
He was damn near on one knee.
Bro, I think he was just tired.
No. He couldn't do an interview standing up. I mean, she'd have had the microphone.
She's about my height, I think. I don't think she's that short. I feel like it
She's
wasn't
not.
that.
She's not as tall as you.
Really?
Yeah. Jenny, he's 7'2". She's
It
5.
did look a little awkward.
She gonna have the mic up here like this here. Hey, Joel B, tell us about the game.
That's why I always enjoyed covering basketball because I could just wear whatever shoes I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know.
But not when you do Oklahoma football games when somebody was the quarterback. We ain't call no names.
Yeah, that's it.
Really?
We ain't call no names. We ain't call no names.
Wait,
I ain't call no
are you
names.
talking about the first pick in the draft?
I ain't called no names.
I couldn't wear
Which
heels
year?
for those games, Skip.
Ah,
You know?
Jenny,
Back to
what?
back.
Couldn't do it.
Jenny out there in the
Can you
Uggs.
believe the University of Oklahoma could have back-to-back first picks in the draft?
And you
How
got
is that
back-to-back.
possible?
Jenny, how you get back-to-back first pick at quarterback position and no titles?
It's interesting.
How they happen, Skip?
Well, Hollywood Brown's going to go
Don't do
middle of
that.
the first round.
Don't do
He
that.
was not available
Oh, so now you gonna blame
against
no.
Alabama.
Love
Oklahoma
that
would have
kid.
beaten Alabama.
Love that kid.
Yeah. Ooh.
And he's not very
Weapon.
tall either.
Yep.
And he's always been undersized, but
Yep.
he's unstoppable.
Well, you can be
Shannon.
5'7" at a wide receiver. I don't know about at the quarterback position.
Okay.
That remains to be seen.
Either way, you're so harsh.
No mercy.
Next up, there is a new favorite in the AFC North. NFL.com released their latest power rankings, and they put the Browns as the 9th best team in the league. The rankings took into account the Browns' newest blockbuster addition, Odell Beckham Jr. Way behind Cleveland are the Steelers. They lost Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown this offseason and are 18th on the list. So this should be interesting between you guys. Shannon, do you agree with those rankings?
Yep, sure do, Skip Bayless. I agree 100%. If I can go 110, if there's such thing as 110, I always wonder, what does 110, 120% mean? I thought 100 was the highest. But anyway, yes, I agree. Given what they added, given the way how they finished the season. Now, one team finished on a high note, and they added OBJ, and they added Sheldon Richardson, and they added Olivier Vernon. One team ended on a on a whimper, and they lost 2 of the 10 best players, offensive players in all of football. A top 3 receiver and a top 3 running back. That's not conjecture, that's fact.
Yep.
So with that being said, absolutely. Now, I hate playing Super Bowl in March and April because that's not when you win. You start putting this thing together in OTAs and mini camps and training camps.
This is what we do on this show.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. That's why I said they're absolutely right.
Yep.
And they got another team somewhere behind old Cleveland. Like
Really?
I ain't gonna call it. We're gonna talk about that
Different
later,
team?
Skip.
Okay,
We
well,
talk about
talk
that
about
later.
them now.
No,
I don't
we don't.
care.
I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
them now.
He
It's
doesn't
not.
mind.
It's not their turn to shine. Cleveland get all the glory this morning.
You know, every time you believe in something 110%, that's when you start losing more cases of Diet Dew, right?
good sign.
And I
Gotta remember
think
that.
I think you're going to lose more cases of
Although,
Diet Dew.
all I know is Vegas has agreed with one Shannon Sharpe
Yep.
while disagreeing with one Skip Bayless because they said.
What do you always tell me about Vegas?
No,
They
no,
keep
no, no.
building new casinos because people keep betting on the wrong side, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they're just easing you right into their trap.
No,
Right?
they're not.
Yeah.
Because we think alike. Great minds think alike, Skip.
Really? Okay. So I want to point out before I launch on this that I love Baker Mayfield. Jenny knows how much I love him. I will root like crazy for him next year, but this is not right because of many factors you did not mention. The first of which, if this Cleveland team had added LBJ instead of OBJ, then you'd have something,
Yeah,
right?
LBJ.
Well, am I right? Am I right?
No.
OBJ is not LBJ, because LBJ, if he went home again and played football, he might be better at football than he is at basketball.
Nah,
right
he
now.
made the right decision.
Did he?
Yeah,
I don't
made the
know.
right decision.
I'm not sure about
6'8"
that.
receivers don't last long.
Okay, so I'm going to remind everyone that all last football season, I had to sit over here and defend Baker Mayfield against your onslaught. You criticized him harshly and relentlessly on this show. Monday after Monday, oh, he's too little, he's too inaccurate.
haven't forgotten.
Did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see the interceptions? Did you see the late unclutchness?
Did you?
That's all. Okay, what just flipped? I don't know. All of
Because
a sudden, you're
I saw-
driving Baker's bandwagon.
I saw the
What happened?
I saw the improvement.
You saw the improvement
Yeah.
after the year ended.
No.
Somehow.
I
It
saw-
ended, and then all of a sudden.
I saw the way he started playing when he had old Freddie. Old Freddie. When he was in old Freddie's kitchen.
He's in Freddie's kitchen. And by the way, I thank you for bringing up my next point. The Cleveland Browns now have a new head coach who has never, ever been close to being a head coach at any level.
Right.
He has no head coaching experience whatsoever because until mid-year last year, he'd never even been a coordinator. So you're going to bet on Freddie Kitchens? Are you going to trust his going into his kitchen?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting
you
to me.
Delegate. That's what you do. You in charge. Hey,
Okay.
I'm going to delegate this authority, and we're going to get this thing rolling.
Okay, and yet you co-signed on the Giants finally throwing up their hands
Absolutely.
and saying, "No, we got to deal it.
Absolutely.
More trouble than he's worth. We cannot win with Odell Beckham Jr." And yet now you're saying the Cleveland Browns are going to win the division with Odell Beckham Jr., which 2 + 2 equals 7.
Well,
I don't know.
Where
I don't know what
they're hoping for a situation like
Okay.
what the Eagles got when they got T.O. You remember that first year, Skip? That thing was unbelievable. Box office.
And then what happened?
I ain't talking about what happened after that. I'm talking about next year. I'm just talking about this year in 2019.
But the first Philly year,
Yeah.
was that the one they went
They went to the
Dallas?
Super Bowl.
Oh, the Super Bowl. That's the Super Bowl year. That's right. But then he got hurt. But how did they get to the Super Bowl? Without him.
Don't do that,
They
Skip.
won playoff games. They got to the Super Bowl with no T.O.
He had already put them in position.
Yeah.
They had already had the division sewn up because they had blown the doors off. You
And
remember
I
that,
had
Skip?
2 leaders of that Philadelphia Eagles team tell me when I was at ESPN that they would have been better off in the Super Bowl without Terrell.
No,
Owens.
they wouldn't.
Well, that's what they
They
told
wouldn't
me,
have
and they
scored
were
a point.
2 key Eagles.
They wouldn't have scored a
Trust me,
point.
they were 2 leaders of
That
the
man
football
out there on
team.
one. Can you imagine if he'd have been totally healthy?
Yeah.
9 for $122 on one leg.
Okay. And they were forcing balls to him, and New England sitting there saying, he can't run a lick.
I couldn't tell.
Well, did he get in the end zone?
No.
He did not get in the end zone.
Don't do that, Skip.
Did they win? No, they did not win.
Well, Tom Brady didn't throw a touchdown pass last year.
Okay, so
In the Super Bowl.
your point
That's
is?
my point then.
He
So-
won. He threw a 29-yard pass that won the game.
Was it in the end zone?
How low was the score?
Exactly. I don't care.
Okay, there
You
go.
make it seem like the Eagles in that Super Bowl had like 40 points.
So now we're hearing little bits and pieces from Odell, such as his IG post of yesterday, in which he's starting to indicate that he's not all in Cleveland, that maybe it's not the greatest thing that ever happened to him. And so are you going to trust that? Is Vegas going to trust that? Will his emotions be all in Will he take them to Cleveland with him?
Vegas don't read Instagram, so they don't know.
Oh, they
what
don't
he's been
know.
talking about lately. No.
And then we get to another huge loss for these Cleveland Browns. There's no more Greg Williams, who's now the Jets defensive coordinator. And yet,
You make it seem like he Rex Ryan.
okay, well, they had moments last year when they did good things because they were second in takeaways last year in the
Yeah.
NFL. That's pretty good. They were 7th in third downs allowed, which is pretty good,
Very
right?
good.
Now, overall, they weren't very good because they were 30th in yards allowed and 21st in points allowed. And they lost Jabril Peppers, who was...
Yeah, stop
Hey,
it. You make it seem like
but,
you're real.
hey, the last 8 games, he might have been the most improved player in the whole National Football League. He's going to make Pro Bowls for the Giants. Just watch.
He's not
Book it.
Ed Reed.
Okay, he's not Ed Reed, but it's a loss of their defense. So now all of a sudden, like Myles Garrett was there last year, and I keep saying, I don't get him because, boy, he's Adonis. You know, he's Hercules,
Yeah.
right? But they finished 22nd, tied for 22nd last year in sacks. So he didn't exactly turn the NFL
I mean,
on its ear.
what you want to have 30
Okay.
sacks by himself?
So they
now
had-
he has Olivier Bernard
Okay.
and Sheldon Richardson.
Okay, do you like Sheldon Richardson? Because I don't. I just don't like the intangibles. Everywhere he goes, good things don't happen.
Right. Skip,
Okay?
but he was Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, well, fine. And that team won what?
The same thing that Ben won when he was Offensive Rookie of the Year.
All right. Well, they won the Super Bowl.
No, they didn't. They lost in the AFC Championship game to the
Oh, the first year. that's
Yeah.
true. Okay, so the point is that are you sure they're going to be good enough on defense to
Yeah.
back up the offense? Because I think they could be obviously explosive on offense. It's the best group of receivers. If Odell is invested in it, which I'm not sure about, they'll be the best core of receivers as long as he can join the core instead of going solo, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you trust that? Because the team I trust more is Pittsburgh's team. Because look at what
Why
they
you
do.
trust them so much?
Okay, they were tied for first in sacks last year. They added Mark Barron, who I think is a really good player at safety. And then that,
No, he gonna play linebacker.
yeah, well, but he's like a safety
Yeah,
linebacker.
he's a hybrid.
But okay. And then I'm not the biggest fan of Steven Nelson, that starting corner. He started all 16 games for the Chiefs last year, but they got him in free agency, so it will be a slight upgrade at corner for this defense that was already pretty good. And then, to me, I've already told you, Ben is a candidate right now for for me, win an MVP. Thanks to you. You have fueled it.
What about my homeboy?
Okay.
You make it seem like the other guys go like, oh, you know what? They've been talking bad about Ben, so let's
Just
let
watch.
Ben
Just watch. He's going to unleash. He's going to come out with a vengeance.
He's going to
next year.
unleash a ton of interceptions.
Okay, well, maybe he will. But, boy, I still like his weapons a lot because Juju is really good.
Well, Juju-
And you watch. James Washington's going to have a breakout year next year.
Well, he's going to need
breakout.
that. He's going to need to have that, Skip, because now Juju is going to be getting the attention that AB got. See, you love to say addition by subtraction. No, subtraction is subtraction because you don't carry the one when you subtract something. You only do that when you add something.
Okay.
So with that being said, the Cleveland, you know what? We already got due on it. We already got due.
Didn't take long.
You like Dante Moncrief? Because I do. I think he'll be a really good third receiver for them. All of a sudden, you've got weapons. And Vance McDonald, he had a breakout year last
I
year.
don't care if they got Sidney Moncrief.
Okay, well-
They still not going to beat the Cleveland Browns.
They had
Cleveland
Sidney Moncrief, they'd be in big trouble.
Our viewers at home don't know who Sidney Moncrief is.
They probably don't, but he was really good,
He was
especially in college.
and deep on the defensive end, he was as good as it got.
I keep telling you that James Conner and Jalen Samuels, that's a 1-2 thunder lightning punch. They're going to be really good running the football next year. Just trust me.
Okay.
That they won't miss Le'Veon at all.
Well,
they will
hold
not
on.
miss him at all.
Okay. They didn't have Le'Veon this year. They had Jalen Samuels. They had James Conner. How you missed the playoffs and you got Ben Roethlisberger, who had 34 touchdowns, the most he had ever had. He was 7th in QBR, 5,129 passing yards. How you missed the playoffs with all that then? Your defense led the league in sacks.
Troubled football team. Internally torn apart by one number 84.
Don't do that, Skip.
It happened
so
all
you're
year.
Gonna put
It
all
went
of that
all
on
year.
him.
Yep.
You're going to put it all on him.
Put it all on him.
So Seven don't bear no responsibility.
Okay, well, he does. I'll give you that. He threw too many interceptions. He threw about half of them in one game against the Browns.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, how is Le'Veon at fault? Le'Veon didn't even show up.
Okay.
How Le'Veon get blamed?
I'm not faulting him. I'm just saying James Conner was really good
He
last
wasn't
year.
Le'Veon.
He's close.
Ben said
close enough.
Ben said in the interview, excuse me.
Le'Veon.
Le'Veon said in his interview the only time he heard from Ben was when it was getting time, he had to make that decision, and he reached out. Up until that point, when James Conner was going good, he didn't want to call. All of a sudden, that thing started skidding off the track. You want to call Le'Veon. Le'Veon said, I ain't got nothing for you, bro. Here he is.
Yep.
Mr. Click.
Jalen Samuels versus the New England Patriots on the way toward winning yet another Super Bowl, went 19 times for 142 yards. You like that? I like that.
I like the scale.
I think you're going to see a lot more of that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, we're going to see.
Good.
We're
Well,
going
I'm just
to
saying, really? Really?
Okay.
They got this backward. They just got it backward.
No, they don't.
Now, they got the Cowboys almost right, except they put the Eagles ahead of the Cowboys, which is just insane.
Well, to bring up the Cowboys.
I don't know.
I thought it would
I don't
come up
know.
sooner.
You know, the Cowboys, I'll give you,
Almost
they're
right.
like
And Vegas
11th
say
right now.
Baker Mayfield going to be better than Dak. That's what Vegas say. Now, I don't know.
Really?
They know something. Because they sure do win more than they lose.
Yeah, I don't think they factored in yet Randall Cobb. I'm writing
Oh,
him down.
okay.
Randall Cobb.
They're going to have to reevaluate.
Yeah, I think
some
you
of
got to
those.
reevaluate because that vaults you up
gonna
like
change the
6
offense.
spots.
Tex
maybe.
Cobb, corner the Cobb, don't matter. Cowboys missing the playoffs.
Randall Tex Cobb. I remember. I covered some of his fights against
I remember
Larry
Larry
Holmes.
Holmes beat him.
Yeah, he beat him up, man. He
way.
I think
he ruined him.
Wasn't that the fight that Howard Cosell said, I'm done?
He did. I was there in Houston. Ugh.
Okay, another team that is really looking to make some improvements next year, the Giants. Should they go all in on Dwyane Haskins? We'll discuss his future next.
No mercy.
Dwyane Haskins was front and center at Ohio State's Pro Day yesterday. He is projected to be one of the top 2 quarterbacks taken in the draft, along with Kyler Murray. The Giants have the 6th pick and are a rumored destination. Now, a group of representatives from New York from the organization had dinner with Haskins on Tuesday, although they're expected to have 38-year-old Eli Manning as their starter again next season. So, Shannon, if Haskins is there, should the Giants take him at 6?
Yes, they need a quarterback badly, Skip. And he's prototypical. He's about 6'4", 227 pounds, and he throws the ball from the pocket. A lot of times, Skip, we get screwed. We automatically think that, oh, he's black, he's a runner. He can't run a lick. That 5.0440 told you he cannot run a lick. He doesn't want to run. He's as good a thrower of the football in college as that we had. I mean, he's the 6th quarterback to throw for 50 touchdowns in the season. That's impressive, and especially playing in the conference in which he played in.
Sure.
And at the end, when they needed him to be at his absolute best, he rose and shined. The big comeback win against Maryland. You saw what he did against Michigan. You saw what he did in the Big Ten championship game, and you saw what he did in the Rose Bowl. So he played on the biggest stage, and when the lights were the brightest, he shined the brightest. So I have no problems with them taking him at that spot. But seeing that Gettleman playing is failure, they probably pass it up and hope they get Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones went to Duke. You know who the head coach is at Duke? It's Cutcliffe, who also coached Eli Manning and Peyton Manning. So Skip, he's ready. He's most like Eli.
So wait, you got Daniel Jones. He's going to be another Manning?
That's what they automatically assume.
Oh.
Skip, you know how this works. He went to the guru. He was coach. David Cutcliffe, he coached Peyton.
He's coached like 50 quarterbacks, and where are they now? I don't know. Go ahead.
Well,
No, but he's really good.
Jones, is his last name Manning? I don't know. Skip, it's hard for me to believe that they could pass this kid up at 6th and hope they're going to be able to land one of these quarterbacks at 17.
Yeah.
Because I'm not so sure. Now you're hoping. People are going to start leapfrogging, because we know what normally happens, Skip. Once you get a run of quarterbacks, they start going just like that. They're not getting all spaced out. Okay, one goes at 1, and then one goes at 12, and another goes at 18, and another goes at 20. That's not normally how it works. So for me, Skip, I think it'll be a great pick. The Broncos picking at 10, the Dolphins at 13, Washington at 15. All those teams need quarterbacks and could potentially trade up. So you don't want to run that risk. But here's something that Haskins has working in his favor. Ryan Day was the quarterback's coach when Sherman was the OC at the Eagles.
Yep.
So
maybe.
he looked good. He looked like I'm not worried about him throwing the ball, but it looked like Skip, he had slimmed down. He looked like he had slimmed down from the combine. So that's something that he's going to have to stay on top of, because, he has that body will add weight rather easily.
Well, he said he's on a new nutrition program.
Yeah, I see.
They were hard on him during his college days.
They were.
About his fitness, about his food.
I see big things in his future, Jenny. I ain't talking about a job promotion. You got to be careful.
What did he run that 40 in at the combo?
5:04.
5:04. 5 seconds and 04.
Yeah, so
that's I don't know.
So that just lets you know he used. I know a guy that ran slower than that. He Usain Bolt compared to that guy, and that guy just went on to win a whole bunch of rings.
So it doesn't matter, really.
6 Super Bowls and 9 chances. Whew, that's a lot.
So I ain't really worried about a quarterback being able to run 4.4.
I am not sold on Dwyane Haskins. Not this sold. I'm not 6th pick in the draft sold, and I'm definitely not sold on him going higher than 6. And it was amusing to me that his pro day was the complete flip side of Kyler's pro day, because Kyler wanted to prove to everybody, I can throw it in the pocket.
Right.
And so Kyler never moved at his pro day.
Right.
Everything was right here. Some of it was under center, but even when he took the snap, he just stood and he fired.
Right.
Because he wanted to show, I'm this guy. Right. I'm a pocket passer.
Right.
I can be this guy.
Right.
Dwyane Haskins wanted to show, I can move.
Right.
So he wore his Jordan Retro 11s, because they're flashy, man. The black and whites, they just like pop, you know. And so you can focus on the feet, and it's all footwork. He's moving and grooving, right? He's all over the place, because he wants to show, I'm slimmed down and I got some mobility.
Right.
Maybe not downfield mobility, but I'm talking about rollout.
You got to be able to throw the ball from the outside the pocket.
Yeah. So that was all impressive, but the reason I'm not completely sold, I agreed, I've mentioned this before, this is maybe a month or so ago, The Athletic had a breakdown of Dwyane Haskins' season and his projection, and ranked him as a second-round pick. And I'm buying that because of the points that they made, on arm talent. He says, this Ted Wynn of The Athletic says, that Dwyane has good arm talent, but it's not amazing or on par with Kyler Murray's, and it's not.
But you
okay. You know what it reminds me of? Remember Byron Leftwich?
Yes.
It's that, because he's a big man. Because Byron was like 6'5", and had a sweet motion.
But he didn't have that elongated motion like.
He's not elongated, but the ball comes out the same where it's not a rocket. It's just nice. It's just nice. And is it strong enough to be good? Yes, it is.
Right.
But I'm just saying we're not talking about any kind of a cannon going on here.
No.
Then the other thing that troubled me the most was Haskins' 70% completion rate is a bit misleading because he completed 70.6% of passes that traveled 1 to 5 yards, and then 74% 5 to 10 yards, and he hit those speed receivers with a lot of those little mesh routes, a little underneath, and then they're gone yards after catch. And what did those guys time at the
They
combine?
had 2 at 4.3 and 1 at 4.4.
Paris Campbell 4.31, and then Terry McLaurin 4.35, and then Johnny Dixon 4.41. That is a
love
track
those guys.
team. That is a track team, man.
Yeah.
You got serious speed on the outside, and you're running a lot of little underneath routes that break for big, and then those tap fly passes, they count them in your completion percent, where you're just tapping the snap to a crossing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
They're running like a little reverse,
A little sweep.
right? Yeah, a little reverse sweep. Well, it counts. He was 18 for 18 on tap flies for 170 yards because they're breaking them downfield.
Right.
Okay, so that counted in his projection numbers. And then his passing grade against the blitz was 75.5, which tied for 23rd. So he wasn't great against the blitz. Kyler is really good against the blitz.
Yeah.
It's hard to blitz Kyler Murray.
Yeah, but he'll get those things that you can work on, Skip. I just think the thing is the mistake that people will make is that you try to evaluate players against other players in the draft. And you're going to make that mistake because if you say, well, this guy's coming out in the draft, well, this guy's not Von Miller or this guy's not J.J. Watt, you evaluating the guy. You look at what he did in college. You look at what you need, okay? Do we need this position? And can he fill this position? Now, maybe they believe Eli's going to play for another 5 years. Maybe because, hold on, Eli did beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls. So if Tom Brady's playing until he's 42, it's only natural that Eli play until he's 42. Maybe that's the way the Giants thinking.
Maybe.
Skip, they need a quarterback. Now,
I agree with that. But remember, this is dicey, man, because if you pick him at 6, then you've bet the next 4 or 5 years on him at the least?
Well, you should have picked the quarterback long ago because
Okay.
you bet the last 5, 6 years on Eli and what it got you.
All right, you're right about that, but that's water under that bridge. That's gone.
Well, you're going to be some more
Okay.
water. You're going to be in the water.
Okay.
And the bridge is going to collapse on top of your
You're gonna
head
drown?
if you miss another quarterback.
Okay, well, are you sold? Is this a sure shot? Is this a can't-miss superstar
There is
quarterback?
no such things when drafting a player regardless of the sport.
You're right.
Yeah, well, except for Kyler Murray.
No, okay, Kyler. Okay, Kyler
Whatever
Murray.
sport he wants.
I've seen shortstop. Oh, this guy's can't miss. He's big. He can run. He can do it.
But they've come along. John Elway to me, he was can't miss, right? Well, was he not can't miss? That's the guy you take first and you say, you know what, we're good.
Yeah. Okay, Skip, you got that guy. And Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray is better than all those other guys. And we knew in '83 that when John came out, he was going to be the first pick in the draft. But you also had Jim Kelly, Marino, Eason, Blackledge, O'Brien. Those guys, those were the guys that you're picking from.
And there were so many rumors about Dan Marino at
Right,
Pitt that
right.
he falls to the bottom of the round.
Fell to him. And so that's what Kyler Murray's going to be off the board. So now you're basically picking between Haskins and Daniel Jones and the kids out of Missouri. Those are the guys that you're picking lock. So that's that's the evaluation, Skip. If you're going to take a quarterback at 6, those are the 3 guys that you're choosing from. Locke, Jones, or Haskins. That's it.
Remember, you heard this from me first. Of those 3, I wouldn't bet on any of them. For a long term, if you're talking about a starter who can become your franchise quarterback, I'm not betting on any of those 3. This is huge. This is your whole football life.
Well, you do
right?
know no matter how well Kyler Murray plays, if he doesn't win a Super Bowl,
all right.
it's not
You got me. That is
Okay,
true.
okay,
That
okay.
is
I'm
true.
just
I just think he's a very special competitor and player.
I get all that.
Yep.
But if he don't have if the Cardinals don't have a Super Bowl trophy,
Yeah. Well, you saying that about your new man Baker Mayfield?
whoa.
We convinced him, yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, well,
Time
I
out.
don't know.
No, you the one that
So if the Browns don't win a Super Bowl, he's a bust?
Baker go get that thing for him.
Is he?
Baker go have it.
What just happened?
Baker go get
Just
that
like
thing.
a
We
quick
got
change.
role reversal
I'm
here.
so glad.
Yeah?
Baker have a chef.
Finally came
Baker go
out.
have a chef hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Yeah.
You did come up with that. And
Yeah,
I
serve it
feel
up
like
for
you
Baker.
gotta.
Skip, you can come on over
Trademark
here.
that.
If Baker doesn't win a Super Bowl, I promise you he'll act like he won a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Either
You might
way.
well come on over here, Skip. Get on off that Dak.
Confidence.
Get off that Dak train.
Get off the Dak
It's gonna lead you nowhere.
Super Bowls, here we come. Plural bowls. Z.
No.
Wow, plural.
Yes, plural.
Can we
Za.
just get one? Can we
Za.
get past
Yeah.
a couple
You
more
cut me
playoff
green-
games?
Brady-esque. Brady-esque.
Okay.
Bobby Brady.
Sometimes you can find a guy in the 4th round who can win Super Bowls, or sometimes you
Win.
can find a guy in the 6th round who can win a bunch
What
of Super
fourth
Bowls.
rounder won a Super Bowl?
Well, I can tell you 6th rounder.
Yeah, I know him too. But I ain't talking
You
about.
know him.
So you saying Dak Prescott gonna be Tom Brady?
Esque. I said esque.
Yeah.
He's always said esque. All right. Here's the thing. So many former Steelers keep bashing Big Ben. Why? We're going to discuss that with Rob Parker next.
No mercy.
Le'Veon Bell is the latest former Steeler to call out Ben Roethlisberger. Bell signed with the Jets last week, and he told Sports Illustrated that Ben wasn't the only factor in him wanting to leave the Steelers, but, quote, it was a factor. He went on to say, Ben wants to win, but Ben wants to win his way, and that's tough to play with. Ben won a Super Bowl, but he won when he was younger. Now he's at this stage where he tries to control everything, and the team let him get there. But Big Ben's teammate, Marquise Pouncey, defended his quarterback on Instagram, saying, I've been with Ben going on 10 years. I swear on my kids, he is a true leader. Sucks to see players who leave and are mad at the organization now try and point fingers like they are perfect. But this is the world we live in now. So we are joined by Rob Parker this morning. Rob, good to
morning.
have you with us.
What's happening?
Whose side are you on here, Rob?
I'm on all the Steelers who are pointing at Big Ben. It's obvious to me that Big Ben is the problem. And, you know this, Shannon, from offensive player and a quarterback having a bond with their quarterback. You even remember T.O. boo-hooing about my quarterback.
That was all put on.
All right,
No, it wasn't.
but
Don't do that.
was.
That
Stop.
wasn't.
Yep, stop. But
They're called
did it happen?
crocodile tears.
Stop. He
though.
cried.
Crocodile
Cried.
tears.
And you have a special relationship with, right, John
do.
Elway? Okay. It's when you see these players now break a bond from a guy who, during their tenure there, it's not like they didn't put up numbers or he couldn't get them the football.
Right.
They did nothing but excel with Big Ben. We saw 6 of the greatest years by AB for a wide receiver.
In NFL history.
Yes, in NFL history, we saw Le'Veon Bell, 406 touches the last time he played. Year before, the success he had both running the football and catching the football out of the backfield. So all of these things are positives.
Right.
So for them to go and turn and say, no, there's something wrong here, something stinks here, and it's Ben, you got to believe in it. These aren't bitter guys who didn't get theirs and are questioning and saying.
They're not bitter?
No, I'm saying from the standpoint that he wasn't good enough to help them along to be great. Those are the quarterbacks you look at and go, man, if I had a real quarterback, I would be good. I'd be in the Pro Bowl. I'd be getting paid. Say Blake Bortles or somebody like that. That might be the guy.
Who Skip believed in last year?
I did not. I just said he torched Belichick,
No,
which he
no.
did.
Well, he
The
did in the
Lions
playoffs,
torched
yes.
Belichick.
Yeah, everybody except in Super Bowl
Except
and in the
in
playoffs.
Yeah. Well, it started in the previous Super Bowl.
Don't do
right?
that, Skip.
Yeah.
And then I think for so many guys to come out and say that this is what's going on, it's one thing if there's one bitter guy and he leaves the organization and he didn't really get what he wants, but it's just way too many guys to believe that Ben's not a part of the problem. And you even heard Colbert, the GM, and when he said that he's the unquestioned leader and whatnot.
52 kids.
Yeah, everybody else was called, all these grown men were called kids under Big Ben. And don't forget, Skip, when they had the big, whether or not they were going to protest with the Kaepernick, and they all decided to stay inside the locker room the next day. Who was it who said that was a mistake and blasted Tomlin? It was Big Ben. He all of a sudden.
James Harrison sat right in that seat and said that when we went to bed
Yes.
that night, we were going to stay in the locker room or the tunnel where we couldn't be seen during the playing of the national anthem.
Okay, so whose fault is it?
All I know is Big Ben said he was upset at Tomlin and they shouldn't have done it. That's what he said.
And if you're the real leader, then you should have spoke up that day
That
before.
night.
That night and said, I'm not a part of this.
Are we
I don't
sure
want to
he
do it.
didn't?
But he went along with the group, and then you can't do it the next day. So all I'm saying is, for all the success that Big Ben's had, and he's had a lot, right? 2 Super Bowls, I get all that. But it doesn't mean as you get older and as you get more clout, you decide that you're going to do things your way. And I believe what these players are saying again.
So Rob Parker's conclusion is they traded the wrong guy. They should have traded Roethlisberger, right?
That's not what he said.
It's not,
believe
no,
that's where
no,
you're headed.
Because it's not just that. It's also the organization, which hasn't paid a lot of their players as well. So the Steelers have a couple things working.
Okay.
Okay? They wanted Le'Veon Bell to take another transition, right?
Franchise tag.
After he touched the ball 406 times, after he's put up all these numbers, they didn't want to pay him. So that was part of it. He said it was a factor, not the factor.
Right. You want me to go or you want to go?
You should go.
You sure?
Yep, I'm positive.
For me, there was something that Marquise Pouncey said that was in that IG post that I was writing down, Rob, when you was talking. He said, these guys left and they're bitter and they act like they're perfect. Are you saying Ben's perfect? Because I didn't hear you see, because it's like you're placing.
He didn't say they're bitter. He just said they're mad at the organization.
They're mad and they're what? Act like they're what?
Now they try and point fingers like they are perfect.
Okay. So is Ben perfect? Because he's accepted, because he's blocking for Ben again like Ben is perfect. Skip, we know that Ben is not perfect. We know that Ben has handled some situations wrong. But the fact of the matter is that everybody gets so caught up. Well, he's won this. You can win the Nobel Peace Prize. That doesn't make you a good person or a teammate if you're in a team situation. There have been great doctors that work in a team, and he's unbelievable in his field. But he don't get along with a lot of people, and it's like, well, he's not a team player. Maybe Ben is not a team player, Skip. That's okay. But to sit here and say because he won Super Bowl, he's beyond reproach. Oh, because he led the league in passing, how dare you criticize Ben Roethlisberger? Easy. I do it all the time. That's what I'm here for. If I think something's wrong, I vouch for Ben a lot early on when people took shot after shot after shot at him. But I have the luxury of knowing things that a lot of people don't know.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to get into all that. That's neither here nor there. Okay. But I guarantee you can take this to the bank.
Yeah. So are you talking more about his off-the-field behavior?
No. I'm talking about in the locker room.
Okay, all right. Because obviously he's not been any angel off the field.
No. For me, Skip, when I'm talking about a player as a teammate, I try to keep it football related, locker room and the playing field. What he did outside of that, that's not teammate related.
Unless that misbehavior somehow affects your ability to perform on the football field.
Right. Or riding the motorcycle and all that. Right. That's a team leader. That's a good team leader now.
But also you could talk about a judgment. You know what I mean? Like, that's all. What he does off the field is a judgment, and then you don't know how he treats other people behind the scenes.
I want my team leader to get on a motorcycle without a helmet on. That's a team leader there. That's the kind of leader that we need.
I've known a lot of quarterbacks who were team leaders who were daredevils off the field, like crazy daredevils.
I'm talking about that one. I don't know them.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to thank Rob Parker on behalf of Ben Roethlisberger because you're piling on also, and I'm telling you, you're going to fuel next season's MVP in the National Football League.
Oh, is that what you're...
He is going to wreak revenge on all of you because it has become unbelievably open season on Big Ben Roethlisberger. And I'm going to have to remind everybody, it sounds like he's just some guy who just hangs on to the job year after year, like he's Eli, who doesn't deserve to keep the job.
No, he's still a phenomenal, great player.
Right. Last year, he was third in the league in QBR. He led the league in passing yards.
Did they make the playoffs last year?
Let me finish. He led the league in passing yards, and he had career highs in passing yards, 5,000-plus yards, and in touchdown pass. He threw 34 touchdown passes last year, but it was a troubled football team revolving around the antics and misbehavior of number 84 because he was not a happy camper from the start of camp. And he made waves in that locker room and on the field and on the sideline that are hard to overcome. So they missed out by one game at the end of the year because Antonio decided he didn't want to play or he got sent home or I don't know what happened.
Didn't they win that game? That last game they won, Skip.
Okay, but was he there for them when they needed him most?
No, but they won that game. That's not the reason that they didn't win.
So it's now open season on a Ben Roethlisberger who's been to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them. He's been to 6 Pro Bowls. His overall record as a starting quarterback is 144-69 with 1 tie. But that's a winning percentage of 68%. That's pretty great.
But are they talking about him as a player?
Okay. Well, I'm just saying it's hard if you're a really if you create negativity as the leader and face of the franchise, it's hard to keep winning that much. And all they've done is win with Ben at the starting quarterback.
You make it seem like
they've
he
won
had no
7 AFC North.
Well,
Seven.
How many Pro Bowl receivers and how many so let me see. Jerome Bettis went to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Willie Parker went to the Pro Bowl.
Boy, they just keep turning them
Hold
over,
on.
too.
James Conner went to the Pro Bowl. Le'Veon Bell went to the Pro Bowl. Hines Ward went to the Pro Bowl. Antonio Brown went to the Pro Bowl.
don't have enough time.
You make it seem like he playing with bums and
Right.
Ben Roethlisberger is carrying these guys.
You make it seem like he has nothing to do with all those guys going to the Pro Bowl, because trust me, he had a lot to do with it.
He has, you make it, and it goes hand in hand. See, the biggest misconception is the receivers has nothing to do with the quarterback play. It's all quarterback play. Stop it. DeAndre Hopkins going to the Pro Bowl and being all-pro, and he didn't have Pro Bowl quarterbacks and Hall of Famers and all-pros. So it goes hand in hand. I'm not trying to do anything that Ben Roethlisberger, I'm not saying he isn't great, but being a great player and being a great teammate is something entirely different. And because what we've done, Rob, is that you win something, he becomes beyond reproach. How you going to say this about a two-time
Right,
Super Bowl?
right.
How you going to say this about a guy that's third in QBR? Easy.
No,
This how
it's
you do it.
longevity. He's 37 years of age, and last year, as he turned 37, he arguably had his best statistical year of his career.
But
so
Skip-
he's still playing at a really high level
Yeah.
while Eli's not.
But when you say, when the general manager comes out and says he's the unquestioned leader, he's a man,
Right.
everybody else is kids,
Well,
what do you...
look,
what-
he was making an analogy like you make analogies
Yes.
all day long on this show.
Yeah.
But his point was he's the only one who's decorated. He's the only one. He's been to Super. Has anybody else left on that team been to a Super Bowl? No.
Pouncey wasn't Pouncey?
I don't think so.
I think
Pouncey-
Pouncey. I think
when was the
Pouncey
last
was-
time
I
that
think
they won?
Pouncey
20?
was a rookie the year they won.
He says
it.
he's been with them for 10 years.
I thought Colbert's point was that he's the only one who's been there and done that before. Who knows what it feels
And
like.
I think he exposed or really told people that maybe Ben thinks he's that guy and he can say and do
Yes,
whatever he wants.
Rob,
That's what I got
every
out of it.
franchise quarterback I've ever covered, and I've covered a whole bunch of them, they all thought they were that guy, and they were going to do it their way.
Yes.
Or the highway.
Yeah, but
that's
Skip-
how they operate.
Thinking that.
You've never had one in Detroit, so
No.
you wouldn't know. Right?
Wow, what a
But here's-
shot at the Lions.
Well, have
Skip,
they?
But Skip, thinking that,
His name
thinking
Eric
that,
Kramer? That
Yeah,
worked.
that
was
one.
about it.
Really good.
Thinking that and verbalizing that are entirely two different things.
Okay.
You might think one way. And remember what he said, Skip. Now, Le'Veon Bell said, because he won those Super Bowls, the team allowed it to get there. What did Kevin Colbert said? Said if they had it to do over, they would have pulled the reins in on AB and Le'Veon a lot sooner. You see, Le'Veon said they allowed this. They hate that they allowed that Le'Veon and AB got some power, started being good, and they started bucking back. Well, they see how you treat Ben. What James Harrison said, they have a different set of rules. So they see the way you treat Ben. Le'Veon said, hey.
You're going to treat me right.
Oh, AB says, oh, he can do that? I'm going to do it
He
too.
can go on the radio and blast his teammates.
That's what it is, Skip.
So why can't we? We're good
Thank
players.
you.
We're all
Thank
pros.
you. Now
We
you
help
see
the
how it
organization
works.
You are
win.
allowing two malcontents who did not get the money they thought they deserved to make a scapegoat
AB
of
got
the
a big
quarterback.
contract.
Yes.
But he thought he was way underpaid.
Yeah.
Like quickly
But
underpaid.
see, here's-
His whole point was I went out for more money.
But-
and he got more money.
But here's the thing.
No,
see?
well, at the end of the contract, because there was no guarantee left. But at the time when he signed this deal, it was a big deal.
But here's the thing. They could have cut him. Do you think they would, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If AB doesn't say a word, do you think the Steelers are going to cut him after last season? Even though he missed the game,
No.
if he didn't cut.
No.
So it wasn't like he was going to make $13 million. Now he get more upfront money.
Okay.
But the thing is, Skip, see here again, Le'Veon not resetting the quarterback market. Le'Veon not taking the $14 million last year has nothing to do with his criticism of Ben. He's saying, yes, it played a factor. It's not the only factor.
Yeah.
But it did play a factor
Okay.
because I want to be treated fairly and humanly.
Final point. Marquise Pouncey used a phrase that you always tell me
Yes.
is the phrase.
Yes.
In the black community, when you say, I swear on my kids,
Yep.
you take that to your bank,
I
right?
do.
You're putting your life on it.
Yeah.
And he wrote it. He didn't just speak it. He wrote it for posterity. I swear on my kids, Ben is a true, and then all caps, leader. Okay? That's not lip service. That's not platitudes or just empty cliches. He's saying, I swear on my kids he's a true leader. Now, again, he plays for Ben. He's his,
Sure.
Right.
you know,
I was going to say, right.
okay? But still, when you say, I swear on my kids, I think I'm going to put a little credibility on
What
it.
about, but the only idea is there are more people on the nay side, and you got to give those guys, Harrison, all these guys are all pro, great football
Defensive player of the year.
That's all I'm saying.
And my thing is a leader says, you know what, this is what I do. I'll follow you, bro.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, and I'll follow you. You going to follow Big Ben because Big Ben hopped on a motorcycle with no helmet. That's your leader.
I think it's good Pouncey said this, but you've said all along we've been waiting for someone to come to his defense, and it took a long time.
Took a long time.
We've been talking about this guy.
We're about to see the wrath of Roethlisberger next year.
I'm already.
Unleashed.
Are you ready for this?
Unleashed.
He's not winning the MVP.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, you guys are
Wow.
fueling
Go out
the
on a
fire.
Let's do it.
I'm
That's
the one
what you
out on the
said.
limb.
You said it.
Yeah, okay.
You guys betting
We'll
on this
wait.
yet
You
or
wanna
not
wait?
yet?
We already got, he and I got Cleveland and
got that?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's going. It's going to motivate him.
Old Baker.
I got Baltimore.
Old Baker.
Lots to
Cooking
bet
up
on
something.
around here.
He cooking
Rob,
up something right now, Skip.
thank you for joining us today. So, D-Wade is about to retire, but should he? Because it's been pretty fun to see, fun to watch. We'll discuss what he's up to next.
No mercy.
Dwyane Wade is expected to retire at the end of the year, but you wouldn't know it if you've watched him lately. Last night against Skip's Spurs, Wade had 11 points, including a jumper late in the fourth. He also had a big steal on DeMar DeRozan in the closing seconds to help seal the win. And right now the Heat have that final playoff spot in the East. So Skip, are you surprised by what you've been seeing from D-Wade's play?
No, I am not. And for the record, I have long been almost as big a D-Wade fan as I am a Michael Jordan fan.
Okay.
And they do have a Chicago connection, Dwyane from Chicago. Last night, Dwyane Wade did in my Spurs, who had won 11 straight games at home. And the irony was the Spurs honored Dwyane Wade before the game, and he deserved it because Popovich loves him some D-Wade. They gave him signed jerseys from Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, and then he repaid them by just absolutely killing them down the stretch of this game, in which they had rallied furiously from 18 down to cut it all the way to 3. And Dwyane Wade pulled off a shot with 1:23 left. I had never seen, Eric Spoelstra said, I've never even seen him attempt that shot in practice or a game, if we could just see what happened, because he is trapped at the free throw line. There is no way out. It's a 3-point game at this point. And Dwyane ducks under, ducks, and shoots it left-handed straight on off the glass, and I swear he called glass. I swear it was a glass shot. He aimed for the glass, and he invented, or as Spoelstra said, manufactured a shot under pressure on the fly that virtually iced the game with 1:23 left. But the Spurs still cut it back to 3.
Very LeBron-esque, wouldn't you say?
I've never seen LeBron pull that shot
Yeah,
off.
you have left-handed.
Like that,
You've seen
straight
him.
on,
Yeah,
straight on,
right.
off
But
the glass.
He swishes. No, he don't use the glass.
Oh, he doesn't swish. This was vintage classic D-Wade, because then Spurs get a block and they get a break, and DeRozan's got the ball in his hands, and he's either going to pull up for a 3 to tie or dish it to another sniper to tie the game. And who snakes behind him and steals the basketball? Classic vintage Dwyane Wade steal. How many times have you seen him do that to disrupt an offense in a big moment in a big game? That's just who the man is, and how he can still play and impact basketball games. Because remember, he's closing games for the Heat.
Yeah.
They have won 8 of their last 10. Uh-oh, look out Milwaukee, because they're sitting right there in that 8 spot. I wouldn't want to play them. I know Milwaukee went there and beat them pretty soundly. That was the Brogdon game when Brogdon got hurt.
Yes.
But now without Brogdon in the first round, I'd give the Heat a real good shot here, mostly because of Dwyane Wade. So he scored 25 the game before at Oklahoma City, big win for the Heat, 17 against Charlotte. He's averaged 14 for the year, but what do we keep hearing from Dirk? We keep hearing Dirk have second thoughts about retiring. He's averaged 6 points a game this year, and he was hurt for a while. We know that. But all of a sudden, I'm seeing Dwyane play like Dwyane should be the guy having second thoughts about coming back next year. And Dwyane is saying that his knees feel 100%. Why did LeBron leave him high and dry and go home? Why did he do it? Because he said Dwyane's knees were shot. And I don't know exactly how Dwyane fixed his knees. I think he changed his diet. I think he changed his nutrition. I think he slimmed down some, taking a little bit of the weight off.
And he happy.
Yeah.
Got married.
Maybe.
Gabby got him happy. He
Maybe.
wasn't going to spend time with mama. He wasn't done. He done with it, Skip.
Is he done? I don't know. He doesn't look. He's not playing done. I can tell you that.
Skip, I'm surprised. I am surprised. But I think him knowing that this is his last season, I think he's playing free. I think I think knowing that there's not the pressure for him to win a championship, the pressure of him to go in and night out and give you 25, 30 points. He's perfectly content, Skip, getting his little 20, 25 minutes, getting his, like you said, he's averaging 14 points. He'll have a big game where he gets you 25. He might have a game where he gets you 8 to 12. He's happy with that. He's made peace with that. That's the biggest thing. When he came into the season, he said, one last dance. He had made peace. And what they say, Skip, normally when you think about retiring, you retire probably a year or two earlier. He made peace with this decision. But, Skip, when you can play free and there's not the pressure, imagine there's not a pressure. If Dwyane Wade doesn't get to the playoffs or he doesn't win the championships, he's already won 3. He's already had that championship. He doesn't have the pressures.
I think Dirk has had huge pressure all year because he was trying to pass Wilt, and he finally did it, right?
And what he's trying to do now, Skip, I believe Dirk wants to come back for one reason. He wants that Robert Parrish. I think Robert Parrish has 1,560 games played.
Yep.
And Dirk is about, 50, maybe 50 games behind that, maybe even 60 games behind that. Dirk has nothing. Yeah, he'll hit 1 or 2 shots and the crowd goes crazy. Oh, that's vintage Dirk. Really? Really, Dirk? Is this how you want to do?
Can you win games with Dirk on the floor?
No.
I say no.
No.
With Dwyane on the floor, yes.
Skip, I don't think he should. I don't think he will consider retiring. I think he's made it up in his mind. He's at peace. He's content with what he was able to accomplish. And like he said, he tweets a lot. I follow him on IG. When he's going back and he's looking, he's like, man, I can't believe this. Everything. And everybody's like, man, I knew. You don't know, man. You really don't. A lot of good fortunes have to go. A lot of balls have to bounce your way. A lot of good things have to happen for you in order for you to achieve the success. When you start winning championships, Skip, and when you have the heartache, I read a thing about what Kobe said yesterday. When you have seasons like what LeBron is having, it makes you appreciate the championships. Dwyane Wade, knowing what he's gone through with his knee injury, Skip, it makes him appreciate even more.
Remember, he had it cut on when he was at Marquette.
Right.
And it was the old way.
He got the zipper.
Scope.
Yes.
He got the zipper scar.
So, because he's thinking like, hold on, what if I'd have had these knee problems in the beginning and not at the end of my career?
Yeah.
Things might have been a lot differently, gone a lot differently for me. He's at peace, and he's like, you know what? I'm all right. Gold, got me some gold medals, got me some championships, got me an MVP in the finals. Man, O.D. Wade County alive and well. And got a new baby, got a wife. Man, life good for D. Wade.
Well, after they upset Milwaukee in the first round of the playoffs, is he going to say, you know what? This is just fun.
You want some?
This is just
can
fun.
I get some due on that?
Maybe. Let's see. Is Brogdon going to come back? I don't think he's going to make it back for the first round.
Giannis got it.
This team's got it going. Like Dwyane said, this is the most fun he's had since he went back to Miami because they got it going. They're happy together.
I know when he was happier.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Oh,
Not in 2014.
Don't you?
Yeah, I was going to say
I
not
remember
2014.
There was a 4-year stretch. He was
when he got
extremely
blown out by a record margin in the finals. Was that happening?
Not that year.
When his best friend left him high and dry the night of the, where suddenly he just dropped the bombshell on him and said, I'm going home.
How about that?
And you got nothing left here.
If a team shoot as good as the Spurs did in that series, I don't care who. If somebody shoots that well against Golden State, like the Spurs shot against the Heat, they will beat Golden State. You know that, I know that. We had never seen anybody shoot the ball like that.
No,
from
but
the
it
4
helps when there's not a hand in anybody's face.
There were
You're
hands
just getting
in the
open
face.
threes.
Danny Green was
hands in face.
and Bellinelli and Patty Mills was making shots. This was
Patty
ridiculous.
Mills was making shots last night out of his gourd. He was.
It
They
didn't
should
matter.
have won this game.
No, they
Dwyane
shouldn't.
said,
No, they shouldn't.
You know what? This might be the greatest package of intangibles at his size, just inch for inch. He's like 6'4"-ish or so. Listen, this is winning intangibles. There's on playmaking, on little big things. There's never been anybody.
I mean, that
better
was
than
that was a LeBron-esque shot. I don't care what you say.
LeBron-esque?
Esque.
When has he ever made a clutch shot like that?
Don't do that.
Well, this is the one where you just slam the door.
What about in the Eastern Conference Finals, the left-handed shot against Paul George off the glass?
I don't remember.
Well, you do remember
I
that.
think you just
in
invented-
game one. In game
Wait,
one.
Dwyane manufactured a shot, and you just invented a shot
Hold
that
on.
didn't happen.
In game one of the Eastern Conference Finals,
Game one of the Eastern when? Which year?
that had to be like 2012. 2013.
2012?
Yeah.
Boy, you're going back into ancient history.
Left hand after glass with no time on the clock. He laid it up.
No
To
time
pull
on
the
the
tape,
clock?
Shannon.
You mean he shot a layup?
Layup.
It's a,
He beat Paul George.
this is from the free throw line.
He beat Paul
What are you
George to
talking
the
about?
basket. He
But
beat Paul George to the
oh, you're talking about that shot? That was a layup.
yeah,
It was
lefty.
a left-handed,
Lefty.
unguarded, uncontested layup. And you're taking credit.
It was
You're-
guarded. Paul
Wait,
George was guarding him.
Paul George was
Paul George
lost.
gonna win Defensive Player of the Year.
He was lost.
Paul
He
George-
wasn't even in the same area code with LeBron.
Will Paul George win Defensive
What
Player of
are
the Year?
you talking
Will Paul
about?
George win Defensive Player of the Year? Yes or no?
I don't know.
You wanna put some
He
music?
hasn't. No, I'm not.
Well, why you?
I'm just saying,
You're
Dwyane
lying to
Dwyane was trapped at the free throw line and went sideways left-handed and banked it in, and he aimed to bank it
He
in.
been watching LeBron. LeBron used to do shots like that all the time at
Oh,
practice.
yeah.
He could
made a
just
shot
be,
like that.
he did it himself. It wasn't necessarily LeBron.
LeBron.
Not every time.
LeBron did that shot all
You
the
just
time in
compared
practice.
a left-handed layup to that.
It's good to see
Left-handed
D.
layup.
Wade celebrated this way, though, because it is special and he's iconic, and that's what Pop called him. And there's a respect. So it's been fun to
Why
watch
didn't he
him.
get a what you call him jersey signed?
Which jersey?
David
He
Robinson.
got a lot of
He
jerseys.
needed David Robinson,
is
a Artis Gilmore,
big three.
a Iceman.
He had
Big three.
DeRozan then traded after.
You make
I
it
love
seem like David Robinson was a chump.
He wasn't a chump, but he wasn't Tim Duncan.
Okay.
He would be the first to admit, I'm not Tim Duncan.
Well, there's no other Tim Duncan. He's the
Okay, well,
greatest power
thank you.
forward.
So
But
do
he
you
bet-
want that jersey or you want this
He
jersey?
better than them other two.
Okay.
I don't know about. He's not better than Ginobili.
Either way,
just not.
Skip, I hate to do this to you,
Yep.
but we're talking about the Raptors and next. You okay?
Yep.
They got a huge win last night.
Gotta cool
Number
off.
2, is he going to lead them to the finals?
To the what?
Yep.
You just keep that out there. We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
Well, 2 of the top teams in the East took care of business last night. The Raptors beat the Thunder in overtime in OKC, and the Sixers came back to beat the Celtics behind Joel Embiid's 37 points and huge block on Kyrie Irving late in the game. Both teams are currently trailing the Bucks, and we are joined by NBA champ and FS1 analyst Dante Jones. Good to have you.
You know what? It's fitting we have a Duke man in the house because Duke is about ready to
true.
roll right through the NCAAs to the championship.
I believe that.
Yes,
but like
thank
most
you.
People don't.
I believe
Most
it.
people don't,
Who do you have
including
favored to
this
win?
man.
That's not happening.
You don't want to get him
Go-
started over here, Dante.
The other team from Carolina.
Really?
That other team. Okay, we would need a whole different
Wow. Okay.
topic for this debate. Maybe later. Maybe later we'll get into it. But first, I want to ask you, who's the best team in the East in your mind?
In my opinion,
Yeah.
the Toronto Raptors are the best team, just by playoff experience. I'm big on experience when it comes down the stretch. Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Marc Gasol starting right now. Serge Ibaka taking a bench role, which is going to make them stronger, and have more depth. I think Jeremy Lin is a big addition. Van Fleet is their backup point guard. I think they have so much depth at the guard position that you're going to be able to withstand a lot of different matchups, a lot of different teams, no matter what, because the playoffs is going to be based on matchups coming down the stretch right now. And Kyle Lowry being hurt is the only part that it scares me right now. But I think they are the best team pound for pound. Philly would be my 1B, but Toronto is my pick.
Well, we disagree. I got the Sixers. I got Sixers 1, Philly, Milwaukee, Toronto, Boston.
Ooh.
And Philly is 7-1 with all 5 of those starters on the court. That's plus 63 in 135 minutes. And they have the most unstoppable guy. If you don't want to talk about the Western Conference, just talk about the East. Nobody can do anything with him. 7+ feet, 300 pounds, can shoot the 3, although I hate sometimes because he falls in love with shooting the 3. But once he get that ball down on the block, they dump it down to him. Good night, Irene. Marc Gasol can't do anything.
Wait, who is Irene?
Yeah, she was.
Figured that out. I don't know. Who is she?
Well, you can kiss the baby.
Catchy.
Nobody gets named Irene anymore, right?
No, that's a bit.
Okay,
that's,
go ahead.
That's
Go
an
ahead.
old name.
Sorry for the digression.
But now Toronto has a defensive player of the year in Marc Gasol who can at least slow it down a little bit. I'm not saying he's just stop him. He's the best center in basketball. Joel Embiid is.
Yeah.
But they have a problem at the guard position. Their backup point guard.
Yeah.
When things get tough.
T.J. McConnell.
And the shooting is far right. Like T.J. McConnell, and then their starting point guard, shooting is his biggest issue.
Right.
So that in the playoff stretch coming down when teams are adjusting and making you do things on a third and fourth option, the shooting is going to be the issue. The depth is going to be an issue with Philly. But they do have some unstoppable forces, and Tobias Harris has been an amazing addition
And Jimmy Bucket.
to clutch Jimmy Butler.
Big
Yes.
shot taker and a big shot maker.
I'll give you this about Toronto. This is the deepest team probably in the league.
You're absolutely correct.
Because once you throw in, like Jeremy Lin comes in and just lights it up for them. Patrick McCaw, who Jerry West used to love, that was a Jerry West pick. He's on their bench, and Van Fleet started last night. But yeah, man. And all of a sudden, Siakam is turning right before your eyes into a star. Is he a star? He's looking like he scored 33 last night. He looked like a star to me.
He was unbelievable last night.
Yeah. So the problem with this team is they got this guy number 2 who used to play in San Antonio.
You gotta get over
and
that.
sometimes he plays and sometimes he doesn't play. When he does step on the floor, he's really good because once upon a time he was the best two-way player in basketball. I don't see the defense quite the way I used to see it in San Antonio, but the offense is really good.
He's elevated that aspect.
He has elevated that. I will give you that. And he seems to be on a little bit of a mission to say, I'm still here, I can still do this, because he wants to go free again next year and see where he can land, who knows where. But the problem is he plays like he plays like 2/3 of the game, misses about 1/3 of the game. So in the playoffs, are you gonna show up every night? I don't know.
He played 42 minutes last night.
Okay, and boy, I don't know what their next game is, but he'll be off that game. I can tell you that.
Well, I mean,
That's just how you do it?
Yeah.
Load management, right?
Yeah.
It's just the new
Just
way.
like Embiid. Embiid missed the night before and came back and gave you 40-plus minutes last night.
Yep. So for once, I'm with Shannon Sharpe on something because all the stats
Really?
for the whole year, all the stats say Philly is the 4th best team because all their stats say 4th, right?
Right.
All the stats say Milwaukee, and then Toronto, all the offense, defense stats.
Okay.
But remember, Philly is just now, to your point, they're just now coming together. New additions. Tobias Harris just came at the trade deadline, and they're still trying to feel their way with Jimmy buckets. How does it work? What's the pecking order? And I think Joel Embiid and Jimmy finally made peace. Like Embiid said after the game, he is our closer. I think it took a while for Embiid to say, he's our that's a lot. You got to swallow some pride and say, that guy gets the ball the most down the stretch. Not me, that guy. I do what I do, and he did it, boy, 37 and 22. But that's the best starting 5. Not saying the best bench. Mike Scott, I don't love him. He's still trying to find his way. I know.
He gets streaky now. He'll light you up. But guess what happens come playoff time?
Yeah.
You don't use that bench that much.
No.
You shrink the bench. You go 3. It might start off the first two rounds. You go 8 deep. Come championship. Ooh.
Okay, I got
So
you.
who has the biggest 8? Who has the best 8?
Okay, do they miss?
Still, Toronto has the best 8.
Okay, does Philly miss Bellinelli and Ilyasova from
Yes,
last year?
yes,
Because
they
they're
do. They
really
miss-
good.
They
at what
definitely
do.
miss Bellinelli.
Yes.
They wish they would have kept him. But we still got Bobo. What they gonna do with Bobo? We put Bobo in there.
We got Serge.
Sorry, can't do no Bobo. Bobo by
Serge
10
is the
feet tall.
starting center for the team that was on the number 2 seed right now.
Yep.
And he's coming off the bench. And Jeremy Lin is scoring.
Yep.
Van Fleet, who makes the right
Well,
play, as
they're-
we saw last night.
Did you-
So if they shrink their bench to 8, they got a good 8 coming in. And if anything happens and you get in tough situations, you got 10.
Y'all gonna have to expand y'all bench because y'all saw Joel Embiid shoot 21 free throws last night. He gonna foul both of your bigs out. What you gonna do with it?
I think there's playoff adjustments for a situation like that. When they don't have as much shooting,
Yeah.
when Tobias Harris is off the floor, they don't have that much shooting. I mean, he got some big buckets for them. That's the biggest addition that makes them in this conversation.
Yep.
But Milwaukee as your number 2,
Yeah.
that's a tough one because Brooklyn and Miami dominate them during the season. So they got to get past the first round and those expectations. I think that is going to be the upset of the playoffs coming up.
You think Milwaukee going to the first round?
Depends on if they get Brooklyn or Miami. Yeah, I think they got a big shot.
Brooklyn or Miami?
Right, because
Well, I
the
think
50,
Miami's
40,
really good.
90 guys
Right.
might not play.
Right.
Michael Brogdon, who is imperative to their success.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Well, we
I-
got
what
Joel.
did I just tell you?
And what you come didn't even play good last night, and they still won. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons had a whole harm night. You know he'll walk in triple dub. He like Braun. All the others are bigger Braun. Without a jump shot.
Speaking of Braun, is it possible he got out of the East just in time?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Really? Nah.
Yeah, he skipped. Why you keep doing
Well, I'm
that?
serious.
No, Cleveland Cavaliers would have been still the best team in the East.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I don't know. I think
Because they can't do
your
no
man
good.
might have been having
Everybody.
a long, hard run here.
I heard every team in the Eastern Conference sent Braun a thank you. Yeah, I say thank you for leaving. Because they don't know one going nowhere with him there.
Is Milwaukee better than they were last year? Yeah. I know they don't have Brogdon now.
They still can't do nothing with that guy.
Okay. But still, are they better? Is Toronto way better than they were last year?
Yeah.
And the irony was, I never liked DeMar DeRozan. Like, he was like a
No.
real poor
Oh,
man's
but now he on
DeMar.
your team. Now you love him.
I didn't love him last night, but I mostly love him.
Most of the
You
time.
bet you wish you had. I bet you wish you had number 2.
Not last night.
Oh yeah, with the, hey, you
We
see
had
his jumper. You see, oh get it, Paul. He
We
get
rallied
it, Paul.
furiously, and then Dwyane said, nope, not here.
Kawhi would have never let
Not
y'all
on
get in that
my night.
situation. Kawhi would have never let y'all get down by 20.
He never even played. He
Not-
quit.
Skip, you talking
No,
about?
I mean, he flat out quit.
1 year ago.
No, I'm serious.
He had
He just
thigh
quit.
bruise, deep thigh
He
bruise.
played 9 games.
I don't think he quit.
He made like $30 million
Yeah, he
to
made
play
that much.
9 games, and he kept saying, I got a thigh bruise.
You know how thigh
Thigh
bruise.
bruise?
I wore pads my whole career because a thigh bruise might be the one thing I did not want to happen, period, point blank,
Okay,
because
but
they can
you-
linger and they can affect your
You were
performance.
extremely high contact. You were almost like a football
He
player
is
playing
too.
basketball.
He is too.
He is not.
He's pound for pound the best two-way player in basketball.
Yeah,
Pound for pound.
okay, all right.
And when he decides when he's going to shut somebody down, there's really nothing you can do. He showed you that with KD before.
Well, we saw him
in that
shut
playoff
himself
series.
down like nobody could shut
Yeah,
him
You
down.
got to take care of yourself
Right,
first.
right.
You got to take care of yourself first.
Fine.
Hey, you gotta get that bag.
Absolutely
Get that bag.
correct.
He wanted out of little San
No,
Antonio.
He wanted
That's
that
what
bag.
He wanted. He wanted out.
No, y'all confronted him. Y'all put him in a chair, put the lights on him, and had Tony Parker. I tore mine off the bone.
No,
My
he said
injury
mine
was 1,000
No,
times
he said
worse.
100, and it was 100 times.
He didn't want to be Isaiah Thomas. Huh? He didn't want to be in the situation
He
Isaiah
had
Thomas
a
is now.
bruised thigh.
But we don't know.
Well,
like
Isaiah-
what is on the paper, we don't know
do.
exactly how he felt. Isaiah Thomas is in a
Thought he
tough
had a
situation right
bruised
now.
hip. He thought he had a bruised hip.
Correct.
And look where they got him.
You know what happens to hips?
Yeah.
Ask Bo Jackson.
I know what happens
when you
to hip.
start messing with your hip.
Kawhi didn't want that to happen to
Career
his
ending
thigh.
happens. I got a
Tendinosis.
thigh bruise. How many thigh bruises did you have?
Skip, that's
like
different.
every week?
That's a
Like every week?
First of all, I
caught
didn't.
a knee in the
I
thigh.
played football with no pads on, but that's different. We play different. That's different.
Got a thigh bruise.
He had tendinosis, which is a more severe, higher end thigh bruise.
You know what? The word tendinosis, it's like the equivalent of flopping in injuries. Like it's exaggerating the injury. It's like a flop.
No.
You don't
To put
believe in that
term
injury
on it.
at all.
I do not. He had a thigh bruise.
No.
He's still got something going on because I can't play after.
He obviously has something going on. Like he has something that they have to monitor and take care of. Even the Toronto Raptors are doing the same thing. So
You know
it's
what he's got
carrying
going
over.
on?
But when he plays, he dominates.
When he decides he's going to have
I-
that night.
He dominates.
I give
You're
you
right.
that.
You're right.
Come on to the Lakers, Kawhi. We'll let you have off. You only got to play with like 65 games a year.
Really?
That's
You're
it.
in charge of
Maybe
the load
LeBron
management
could
now.
like switch off every other
Swap
night.
days.
No.
You know,
Working
play. They could
well.
each play one night. You
Come
know,
on,
take
AD, KD.
Yeah.
We'll get us a squad. We'll get all a star squad. We'll get Kyrie, AD, KD, and Kawhi.
Really?
Yep.
It may take that to lift.
Wow,
Yeah, I was gonna
that's a heck
say.
of a cap right there.
Sorry, Shan, you're going to have to wait a little longer.
Yeah.
We got 600 million for y'all. Divvy it up however you want to.
LeBron entering his 17th year?
And still giving
That's
folks
not-
that work.
Really?
That's not a problem.
Not a problem?
No, none whatsoever. Still giving that work, Skip.
Really?
No.
Well, he gave 18 games of no work.
Skip, the man was interested.
Well, now he's
So people can't be
still
injured in
saying-
your book, huh?
No,
That's
I
good.
mean,
like people don't
Apparently
get
not.
hurt in a perfect world.
He pulled his groin, then he tweeted the next day, back in no time, dodged a bullet. I'm saying, okay, you're Iron Man.
Skip, you getting injured and doing what you do,
Okay,
and one of
no,
these
okay,
guys getting injured.
Okay, but
and
he
do-
tweeted it. I didn't tweet it. I didn't make it up for him.
So he didn't tear it off the bone. Jeez,
Okay.
y'all's the bullet. Praying
Yeah.
hands.
Right.
Either way.
Okay.
The season that
I don't know.
we wish would end differently for Shannon's sake, because now we're going to have to listen
Yeah.
to say this for the next couple months. Dante, good to have you, always.
guys, for having me.
Thanks for joining us today. Well, Errol Spence fight Manny Pacquiao. Good news, guys. He is here, so we're going to be able to ask him. Coming up next.
No mercy.
Our next guest dominated Mikey Garcia on Saturday night at Jerry World to retain his welterweight championship. He's now a perfect 25-0, and he even called out Manny Pacquiao after the fight. Errol Spence Jr., welcome to Undisputed.
Yes, sir.
Boy, all right, you dominated Garcia on Saturday. So were you frustrated at all? You really couldn't put him away?
Not really, because I think I showed a different dimension to my game.
For sure.
Because coming out, doing the whole press tour, people were saying I was just going to bully him and just use, brute strength to beat him.
Right.
And I showed, skills. I showed, I had a great jab, I could box. And I think overall I showed my boxing IQ.
You did, but you were able to hit him with whatever you wanted. The jab was working, the left, you were southpaw, you was going right down Main Street through the guard. But the guy came up 2 weight classes. You're supposed to be able to put him away, Earl.
Yeah, I mean, after watching the fight, I think I could have put him away, but, you know, I just wanted to show a different game.
Right.
I think I wanted to show that I could box. I do have skills. It's not all just coming forward and just fighting hard, because a lot of people try to compare me just, you know, to Marvin Hagler.
Right.
And I got different dimensions in my game than just coming forward. I can box too. Because I just wanted to show that I can outbox him, and I think I got more credit beating him that way instead of just running him over.
I give him some credit. I kept tweeting this. It's going to be a moral victory for him if he can finish this fight on his feet, because there were times I didn't think he was going to last. It wasn't like you were trying to put him away, but I give him credit. He's got a jaw now. He can take some shots because he took a bunch from you. I think he's got a big heart to him. He's got some guts. Did he earn a little of your respect just standing in?
He definitely earned my respect, standing in and even just taking a fight. Because a lot of these welterweights, you know, didn't want to take that opportunity.
What you trying to
fight
say?
A lot of them ducking me.
I mean, Skip, you heard what he
There we
said?
go. Yeah.
Hold on. What you trying to say? You trying to say Keith Thurman and Sean Porter, they ducking you?
Definitely. I mean, like I said, the Mikey Garcia fight probably wouldn't have happened if Sean Porter would have took the fight. When he fought Danny Garcia, I got in the ring and told him, let's make this fight happen. He said, okay, it's easy to be made. After that, he took his mandatory instead of fighting me, so I took Mikey Garcia.
Are you saying he is afraid of you?
I'm not saying he's afraid of me. I'm just saying he doesn't want to get in there just yet.
But hold on. You told a man he couldn't sell out his family reunion. So how is he why is he gonna fight you? You talking crazy about it?
That should make him want to fight me more. I mean, we're boxers, so if a guy, you know,
So you keep jugging, you antagonizing that man.
yeah, I mean, antagonizing him, he definitely should take the fight then.
I know one man who can sell out lots of family reunions, and that's Manny Pacquiao, and you were campaigning for him after the fight. He was in the ring with you, and you called him over, and he was a little sheepish about it because I'm not sure he wants a piece of you either. You would like a piece of the money that he could bring to the ring, right?
Definitely, I think it makes sense. You know, he holds the record at the AT&T Stadium, selling 51,000 plus. You know, I did 48,000. I mean, he's a huge pay-per-view draw, as you see, when he fought Adrian Bronner. He's a future Hall of Famer, and he's a guy that I watched, you know, from a kid. And, you know, he's just a great fighter, and I would love to have that fight. I think he'll sell out great at the AT&T Stadium.
No,
70,000 plus.
you want that dub on your resume that you put Pacquiao to sleep. That's what you want on your resume.
Oh, definitely. Your idols become your rivals. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true. But unfortunately, your idol rival is 40 years of age.
Yeah,
He go around beating up old people.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, he also, you know, beat Adrian Bronner too on pay-per-view, so he has a win. It's not like he's coming off a loss.
No,
I mean, he
that's
beat Luque Matisse too. So, you
But
know.
I keep getting quotes sent to me by Manny's PR man, and he is campaigning through the PR man for Floyd. He wants a Floyd rematch because at least Floyd's what's he, 42?
Yeah, he's older than Manny.
Yeah, I know.
Manny
He's
is
2 years old.
Yeah, Manny's 40.
Yeah.
He's 42. Man, stop. Leave Floyd alone.
Well,
Floyd retired.
Manny wants that payday, and you want the Manny payday,
No,
right?
Tell him you'll fight Floyd too.
I think we'll have a great payday. AT&T Stadium.
I know.
70-
Would you take it
70,000
easy
plus.
on Manny? In your
no.
heart of hearts, would you go in and take it easy on him?
No.
You trying
No.
to get him up out of there.
I gotta get him up out of there.
I mean, this is,
My motto's man down.
yeah. I compared it the other day. I covered Ali's last fight in the Bahamas against Trevor Berbick, and it was the saddest thing I ever watched because Ali was just a shell of himself. And I don't want to see, I love Manny, and I don't want to see you just punish Manny and like knock him into retirement.
Well, I mean, he should retire then if he don't want to fight the top guys in the division.
But you got to be careful now. He can still punch now.
Oh, he can still
And
fight.
you know, in fights now with the throw punches, you got to take some.
Oh, definitely. I'm not worried about that at all.
So you don't listen. You just look at it, just go bully that man.
I'm not going to bully him. I mean, I'm just, you know, I feel like, you know, he's a great fighter. I feel like he's going to be competitive.
Right.
Because Pacquiao has heart. Pacquiao
Yeah.
has
he
amazing
does.
heart.
He definitely has
I mean, he's a warrior. He's a guy that's, you know, that's going to fight and he's going to give it his all. He's
Right.
not scared of anyone. So I think it is going to be a tough fight 'cause he's not going to just lay down.
Right. And he's a southpaw also.
He's a southpaw too.
So now you're going to have to really sit down on them punches unless you catch him with one of the Marquez where he just walks into it and you throw it at the same time.
He just got bored. I mean, that was like the 5th fight.
Wait, what? Errol said, I hope he get bored in my fight so I can catch him with one.
Definitely.
So would you like to knock out Manny Pacquiao? Would that make you happy?
Definitely. I'd like to knock out all my opponents.
All right.
So you fight Pacquiao, the fight goes the way you plan, you win, decision, knock him out. Do you think, if you beat Pacquiao, you actually think Thurman or Sean Porter going to take a fight with you?
Definitely. I feel like they don't have anybody else to fight. And I feel like now I'm transitioning. Like one of my other models I always used to say on Twitter is tables turn. When I was 13-0, you know, I was calling out these guys. They didn't want to fight me. But now, you know, Sean Porter's a little bit more open. After my fight, he said he would like that fight. You know, Keith Thurman still keeping the same energy, saying we're not going to fight till 2020. So
What he waiting on?
I don't know what he's waiting on. I've been calling out Keith Thurman for a long time.
You have.
A long, long time, and you know he's never mentioned my name.
What about you at 140? You going to move up?
It could be a possibility. It could be a possibility.
What do you walk around at? What's your walk around weight? Be honest.
Probably 170.
Yeah, there we go. Well, you said the other day like 175.
Yeah, 170, 175.
Yeah.
Because you're probably 2 weight classes down. I mean, you box 2 weight classes down. You could literally box at 60, easy.
Yeah, I could fight at 60, 54.
Ooh.
They throw
That would
leather.
be
They
dangerous for
throw
somebody.
leather up there.
Yeah.
You know they throw, as you go up in weight, they throw leather.
I give leather too.
Oh, okay, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. That's why I be watching your fight.
So the greatest boxer ever was
Ali.
Ali because
Not only, you know, he beat a lot of great champions, but, you know, it's what he did outside the ring too that,
Okay.
you know, added in there too. So, you know, he beat, you know, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, you know, all these great athletes, but, you know, what he was outside the ring and what he stood for and things like that, you know, makes him, you know, the all-time great. So, you know, I have to say Ali.
In your division, the 147, there were a lot of great fighters in that division.
Yep.
From Hearns, Leonard, yourself, Mayweather. Who's the best welterweight of all time?
Of all time. I would have to say Ray Leonard.
I agree. Thank you.
Better than Floyd?
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Leonard was in the golden era, man.
Oh, they fought back then.
Like, you know, he was fighting, you know, Tommy Hearns and Duran and, you know, Hagler and all these, you know, Hall of Famers. And, you know, they was fighting in their prime, too.
Right.
So, you know.
There wasn't no ducking and dodging back then.
Like, Floyd's a great fighter, you know, and, you know, he broke a lot of records. He did a lot of great things, like, phenomenal. Like, if Floyd and Sugar Ray fought each other, you know, I'd probably say Floyd would beat Sugar Ray.
No, he wouldn't.
In his prime? Yes, he
No.
would. Like, a lot of people.
Wait a second. Ray's is Floyd with offense.
See, you talking about Money Mayweather. Now we talk about Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy had offense. Pretty Boy was fighting. Pretty Boy was stopping guys, and Pretty Boy was a lot more offensive than Money Mayweather. That was like Money is like the older one, where he was, you know, his hands was hurting, and you know he was more after revenue than, you know, than fighting.
I like that. He was after
he
got revenue.
Yeah,
Right?
You did.
No
That's
one's
why he
ever
changed
gotten
his name.
revenue like that.
I like what you said, Errol. Idols become your rivals. Maybe we'll be seeing that in the future. Thank you so much for being here, for your
Thank you.
time, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Boy, good to have you. All right, we'll be right back with more Undisputed.
No mercy.
Le'Veon Bell is no longer a Steeler, but that hasn't stopped him from bashing his former organization. Yesterday, he not only took a shot at Ben Roethlisberger, but also how the Steelers treat their players. Take a listen.
Like Pittsburgh is, you know what I'm saying, they're a great organization. You know what I'm saying, they got a great owner, head coach. They kind of treat you like, all right, if you're like they don't treat you like a human. What I mean by that is like, I'm an NFL athlete, but it's still, I'm a human being. They want you to be, if you're a Steeler, like you're literally supposed to be playing football 24/7. You're not supposed to be playing video games and like making music, playing basketball. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be working out. You know what I'm saying? It's not realistic. A lot of things like it's not realistic. So So if I say something, if I'm doing something on social media or whatever, that's different than football. It's like not accepted.
All right, Shannon, does he have a point?
To a certain extent, Skip, I get it, Skip. Guys want to do other things. They want to do something other than play football. And like you said, football is not 24/7. But this is not unique to the Steelers. I can assure you, the Jets, after they doled out all the money they doled out for Le'Veon Bell, Skip, I can assure you they want him mainly focused on football. For me, Skip, I was football 24/7 because it's the only thing that I ever wanted to do. I've never wanted to own a business. I've never wanted to do outside things. So that was different. But the thing for me, as I look back on it, if I'd have had some of the opportunities that some of these guys have now, how would I have handled that situation?
Okay.
The teams, look, and that's what teams want. Teams want you to be focused on football all the time. And as he said, it is unrealistic, Skip. You can't play. It's a year-round job, but it's not 24-hour day job. And guys, like, sometimes I want to unwind. I want to play video games, or I want to, whatever it is they do that's not going to harm them or put them in a situation where it could hurt their career. I don't really have a problem with it. I've come a long way in my thinking because, trust me, when I played, Skip, I was all football, and I was very disappointed when guys did other things that wasn't football related because I felt it was taking away. But as I've gotten older, I see guys can do different things and still be great at their job, which is football. So this is not unique to the Steelers. I can assure you all the other teams want their players to mainly focus on football. And so I get his frustration because he's one of the guys. He's very active on social media. As you mentioned, Skip, he wants to have a rap career. So he wants to spend time in the studio, with beats and things of that nature. He plays video games. The Steelers are old school, Skip. They're one of the franchises go back 1933.
They do.
And this is how they did it. And they need to change, and the thought process also needs to change.
It's funny that I'm talking to you about this because you, of all people, understand championships are won in football with a united, unified locker room.
Agree.
I've never been around a football team that won that was going in opposite direction.
Yep.
Because there's something about a we in football that's more important than a we in basketball, or certainly a we in baseball.
Right.
Hockey can be, it's
the
just,
same.
it may be the same, but in football, old school Steelers, it has to be a we. You have to sacrifice some of me for we.
Right.
Some of. And yet, to me, Le'Veon, AB, Odell are all social media victims because this is the age we live in, and social media has led all three to believe that they are LeBron, they are KD, they are Kyrie, that they are NBA-style superstars because that's what they read every day on social media. That's the feedback they get. And they're fueled by it, so they want more outside the confines of the locker room.
Right.
And come on, let me be a human. Let me do this and do that. And the Steelers are saying that's not how we're going to get back to winning championships here because they've won a lot before with a lot of big personalities. Those Bradshaw teams, the Terry Bradshaw teams had big personalities, but they were one.
Right.
I talked about the old Raiders. They had the biggest bunch of characters ever thrown into the same locker room, but they became one. Your Ravens, were there
Yes.
not outsized personalities in there?
Absolutely.
They could have dominated. Your Ravens would have dominated social media if they'd had it, right?
Yeah.
But instead, they dominated on the football field.
Right.
But you were an ultimate team leader in both Baltimore and Denver because you knew what collective
Right.
how it had to feel.
Right.
You needed strong internal leadership, and anytime anybody strayed a little bit, no.
Right.
You, Ray, in Baltimore, no. We don't do that because we are we.
Well, that's what you have
right?
to do, Skip. Well, I remember going to the Super Bowl, and Brian told a story. I didn't even know he heard it until he had told the story many years later. He gave us one simple rule, Skip. We didn't have curfew. They didn't check rooms. All he asked us to do was to ride the bus from the hotel to the practice, from practice field back to the hotel. That was the only rule we had for a Super Bowl. Let that sink in. I can assure you, no other team in NFL history has never had a curfew or room check. That was his only rule. Okay, we get down there, I think it's probably like a Wednesday or Thursday.
Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah.
We're in Tampa. Brian is already practicing at the University of South Florida. Brian has already told us, to and from, no problem. This dude gonna talk about, well, my mom and dad here, I'm gonna ride back with them. I said, no, hell you not.
What dude? Just
He was a young guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna ride
There we
back.
go.
My mom and them, they want me to ride back with them. I said, unless they're gonna get on the bus,
Okay.
that's where you gonna ride back
Well,
with.
as silly as that sounds, that's a we
matters.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
Okay.
rules.
That's-
They apply to everybody. I don't care
Okay.
about you. I'm
I got
sorry
it.
that your mom and dad is here.
I got
but
it.
they can meet you at the hotel.
I wouldn't try to get anything past you,
No.
Shannon. No, I don't think I would get very far. All right, we've been waiting. March Madness is about to start. Love this time of year. Will Ja Morant steal the show? We'll discuss.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Ja Morant will be in the national spotlight later today when Murray State plays Marquette. Morant is averaging about 25 points, 10 assists per game, and is projected by many to be the second pick in the draft behind Zion. So, Shannon, what do you expect from Morant today?
I expect him to play well. I'm happy that people are going to get the opportunity to finally watch him play, Skip. I think the scouts kind of know what he is because they've seen him against Auburn. Auburn won the SEC title championship, and he had 25 against them in December. He had 38 against Alabama. He had 25 against 36 against Belmont, who's an at-large bid. So he can play, Skip. But what's most impressive is the 10 assists. We don't normally see college kids because all they want to do is score. This guy's doling out 10 assists a game to go along with 25 points. He's a special talent.
How about Ja versus Zion in next year's NBA Slam Dunk Contest? Do you like that?
Yeah.
My money would be on Ja in this one because it'd be more spectacular, I think.
Yeah, he's a smaller guy. I don't know
Right.
what Zion, Skip. A guy that size, spinning around 360,
Yeah.
tomahawking.
You know what? I haven't watched Ja a lot. I'm looking forward to this one, but I think he's a basketball player.
Yeah.
Because 10 assists is fourth in the country, and I got to see if he can defend because that Marcus Howard of Marquette is, and they're favored to win this game, but he's averaging 25 a game. So I want to see if Ja at 6'3" can get like Marcus Howard's 5'11". Can he go defend him, shut him down, or at least contain him?
He can prove what everybody already knows, that he's an unbelievable talent, because we've seen guys rise that go to the look at D Wade. D Wade got Marquette to the Final Four, had a triple-double in the process. Carmelo as a freshman.
Love this time of year.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.